I got my water. You got your tea.
I make a mug look small. Like, what the fuck?
You need a bigger mug.
This is a normal sized mug, bro.
I think you need a bigger
Fucking
mug.
hot. Ow.
Oh
My
man,
tea.
you get your tea. All right, I think you. All right, let's get this
Fucking
thing on a
hot.
roll. Let's get this baby on a chugga 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 woo woo woo. Welcome back for another week. How about that? It's the Beardy Bros podcast. Meow. That's actually kind of cool.
Is that going to be like a loop on every episode now?
I just went with it. I was not expecting to actually be kind of cool.
Like,
Oh my god! What's up, Beards and Beardettes?
that should be a thing now. Like,
Just cut it in every time at the start. Just have that same thing. Just the sound of it. Oh my god! I just got into it. I just went with it and let it ride.
I just started with a fucking train. Like, turn into a solo fucking intro.
I do my own guitar solo and everything.
You're not coming through, Dad.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Fucking hell. That's crazy.
Oh, so yes, what's up? What's up, everyone? How are we doing? Welcome to another episode, of course, indeed. Another week. What? How about that? How about that? Catch me outside. Maybe. You never. Yeah, you wouldn't even know. Oh, the chances of maybe being outside. The amount of times we've had lockdowns or being just trying to
We
avoid
usually
it.
get another one soon, right?
Possibly. I had that thing.
As I read on the, seen on YouTube somewhere, he's probably getting another one. So
Well, there's a lot happening, and ironically enough, too, I did share that post because I was talking about I was following my statistics things as always and seeing how things go. So, at the end of this month, apparently the 27th of September is when the licensing ends for the Queensland government's health system thing. It it recycles every so many months, and then the licensing goes for so long, and then it ends, and it.
Yeah.
Speculating being that it's the 27th that it ends, and we may see a lockdown happening at that point in time, so therefore then they can re-license it again for another couple of months. So it gives I think when they license things, it gives governmental funding to cover stuff and things like that. But we seem to have lockdowns about the time every time it gets to ending. When the licensing thing about to end, lockdown. When it gets close to ending, lockdown. When it gets close to ending, lockdown. And it's been happening. People have been more and more now starting to pick up even more. So there's one that was announced actually.
But you've got cases right now, though, so that's probably a main thing as well.
Well, that's exactly. We've only got this very small cases. It's very small. There was truckie that come
keep
through.
Them locked up just in case.
So the truckie come through, and it's very weird as well. So the truckie came up from New South Wales. He apparently lives in Logan, so he came up from New South Wales. But he travels, comes and goes. But yeah, it's one of those things. Apparently, how it worked. This is what gets me though. This is very weird. So he's a truck driver that comes up, went to the depot, came in contact with one of the administrators, whatever it is. Typical. You sign in. I guess you come across someone.
Yeah.
So she's. Well, you'd assume she's gotten it and then has passed it on to her 4-year-old daughter. Being tested, though, she's been tested positive because I'm guessing, I don't know how they come to the assumption, maybe because they've been in contact with this guy who must have showed positive. They've gone, oh, we better get tested. She's now shown positive, the daughter, but the mother that works at the administration has showed up as negative.
I'm guessing she had it, spread it, but then didn't have it. She had it, but then she didn't have it.
With only a few days. It's how do you get COVID and then not undo COVID?
How long was the wait, though? How long was...
It was only a couple of days.
I'm guessing there's a false positive, or a false negative.
Maybe false negative, yeah, which is possibly a thing, but it's just weird that, maybe they can try and do another test just to make sure. She's in quarantine either way because the daughter's got COVID, but but apparently
how
she
might
have had it.
How do you lock a 4-year-old away for 2 fucking weeks?
Oh, it's not that bad. I mean, we'd kind of
No,
done
but
that with.
like, you just lock them in their room and just slide meals through the
Well,
door and just like,
you're gonna be in the house either way. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, I always see when you're in the household, you can't keep yourself away from another person in the household.
I mean,
Like,
you
I
can,
feel like
but
it's still
it's
gonna spread around through the house. If someone's got it, germs are gonna spread. Like, there's cracks in your door. Like, how are you not
unless
gonna?
you literally like bought it in there.
Like, that's what I
Give
mean. Like, how are you gonna stop
me a
COVID from
bucket.
spreading within your house? Like, you're in a household. If the person needs to come out to go to the toilet, like,
Mhm.
it's going to
Get
spread
a
around through the
get
house.
a
You're in the same
get a
house.
drink.
Like, you're in the same house. Even if someone's going to bring you a meal and like say stay away over the door, like they're still breathing in the house. Like,
I'm muted and unmuted like
you're,
tap tap.
you're panicking like mute mute.
I
But
just
like,
cough. I'm like,
but
ah.
that's what I mean. That's why I get with the logic. They go on about like being contagious and stuff. But it's like, but
Mm.
then apparently you all have to share quarantine. But then they may not get it. Like what? That it
I
always
mean,
it's,
it's 50-50. You either do or you don't.
yeah, and they keep going on like how contagious Delta is,
But
but then there's people not getting the Delta when there's someone else that they've been in contact with that's had Delta. It's like, is it contagious or not? Like, I'm getting very
I mean, it would
confused.
be, but specific, maybe blood types, specific
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
immune
is there more
systems
to it?
aren't really affected by it, or
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is there more to it? Like,
well, of
it's
course of course there is,
there's got to
but
be more to it that they're not aware of still. Like, there's got to be variables. Like, are we some of us immune because we're drinking beers? We're on the beer. We're on the beers, so our blood
for
alcohol
fuck's sake,
levels, our
on the beers.
maybe is it because we're on the beers, our blood alcohol levels is keeping us detoxed from getting it. Like, is that a thing as well?
I
Can that
don't
be a
leave the
thing? Like,
house. I'm just drinking just for the hell of it, bro.
I know it is very uncomfortable for me being out in the public at times, but even it's like, even like the guy about wearing face masks, like. COVID's not going to be like, oh, you've got a face mask, or when you're like not wearing it when you're eating, like, oh, you're eating. I'm not
If you
gonna
touch a door handle and you got a mask on,
like.
you gotta take it off, and you just go like that,
That's what I
or
mean.
just
Like, it's gonna
sniff,
spread,
or
but there's still gaps in your mask. It's not gonna be like, oh, like it's dumb, like COVID. Oh, we're dumb. Oh, sorry, you got a face. Like,
someone
there's gaps.
spits on you.
There's gaps in your mask. Like, there's gaps on the sides. Like, COVID's very minute. Wouldn't that get through the fibers? Like,
I mean,
it's a
probably
germ.
not
Like, I don't
that,
know.
but
Like, yeah, we're coming in,
because they're
boys.
kind of hard to breathe through some of them, so I'm guessing it's
But
enough for just the air.
you
That's
still got
about
like a
it. That's
bit of
about
gaps
it.
on the side. Like, that's what always gets me. Is it like
Yeah, but no
COVID?
one's
Like,
right in your face though now. Like,
that one person's like,
don't
give
do
me
that again.
that one. I was gonna say that one person that's like, give me COVID, and they're out there going,
Yeah, and they're the ones who don't fucking get it.
and they're like, I want it. So it's like, let me.
Why would you want COVID? Like,
I don't know,
it
dude.
gives you permanent lung damage and
There'll
shit.
be
Like,
people out there that'll be
why would
like,
you?
you know, that the world's that fucked up. That there's people out there be like, give me the COVID. I want the COVID. Like, you always know there's that one person out there's like, I want it. Like, I want it. I needs it.
I want it.
Like, do you really want to get yourself some COVID? Like,
Are they fucking licking handrails and door?
I don't know, but it is very weird.
Cough
Like,
in my face.
it is interesting though.
Weirdo.
Yeah. So it is kind of interesting though that like we've got our border shut down, but like there's still so many people in the world that are actually still traveling. Like traveling's kind of gone back to normal, even though COVID's still
Yeah, well,
lingering.
did you hear? Scott Morrison's trying to get the state open again, look back to normal.
Yeah.
Trying to get the whole country back
Like,
open.
I think it's just one of those things
I
where we're
mean,
just
because
going
we
to
gotta
live
live
with.
with COVID, so I'm guessing he's just.
I think that's where it's going to come down to. That it's getting to the point where it's just something that we're going to have to just live
Well,
with
I
and be
think it's
done
going to
with.
be 80% vaccination rate, and which that's fucking good. Like we got to hit that first.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Like, I'm keen for my jabs if I can even get them.
Well, it is hard. It's
At least
very.
then I can just go around and just not be. But I'll probably get it and spread it, but
You wouldn't even know. That's the thing. You'd be jabbed. You wouldn't know you have it, and you
no,
spread
you
it.
still get sick.
You get a bit sick, but not as bad. But then
Like
some
on the
people.
Corey Taylor, he said he was vaccinated and he was still crook. So
Did he have both jabs, or did he have one? He
yeah,
had both, and he still caught it. Well, I mean, it's going to happen.
no,
It's not,
it
not
just
preventing
wasn't
you.
bad. Like as bad as everyone else.
Didn't. Yep. So he's. I mean, that's the thing. He's still going to catch it. He just didn't feel as crook.
It's
But I
like,
mean,
it's just like a
but at the
a
same
cold.
time, like, how do you know if the jab? Like, they have kind of shown like what jabs could do, but like. What was if he didn't have the jab and he caught it and he was just like, oh, okay, it's still the same thing. Like, how would you wouldn't even know, without taking chance, like, without having that chance happen. But,
You don't take a chance. You just
it's interesting how things can happen.
like you can still be jabbed and still get sick. Like people
Yeah,
get the flu shot and they still get the flu.
yeah.
It just isn't as a, a, a it's not as bad. B, it doesn't last as long,
Hmm.
and you don't really spread it that as much either. So there's that.
I do see. I think with the whole thing, it's going to be a regular thing once it's organised and balanced out. Like,
Yeah, give it like a yearly shot or something
but like
like
that's
just
the
like
thing though. Like they're talking about
with the
trying to
new
get to.
flu shot.
But I was going to say they're trying to look at getting to 80%. I don't see us getting to that till mid next. I feel like the way we're going now, we're nearly at the end of the year. I don't see us getting to like that point because the amount of people trying to get vaccinated and being able to actually get vaccinated, like
Well, some people
it's hard.
can't like
Like
at
some
all
people
because of
can't.
health reasons.
There's exactly there's people that can't get vaccinated.
What's that?
I kind of nearly threw up in my mouth.
Ugh.
Because I burped.
Ugh.
So yeah, there's like that people can't get vaccinated, but at the same time, like the queuing to try and get vaccinated, the reserved registry line to like sign up for these things is just like they're scarce as well. They're like saying, "Hey, everyone get jabbed," but where are you going to get jabbed? No one's got anything. They're like, "Oh,
Only
we've got all these
specific
things." It's just
places,
like no, there's definitely you got specific
and
places,
you've got to get there
and then you got to
on
sign
the
up.
at the right times.
Yeah, or be lucky enough to get the right time when they're actually doing those allowances where you don't have to like sign up and register a booking. But
Mhm.
like, it's so funny. We're just like, we've got all these things available. Oh yeah, I'll go get it. Oh sorry, we don't actually need to get a booking. You need to register. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? Like the way it's gonna go. Like I'm thinking if it's gonna happen, it'll be sometime
It'll
next
take
year.
another
Like
6 months or so.
I'm just gonna ride it out and hopefully not get sick and just hope it gets to that point and then go, okay, I'll look at getting jabbed now because it'll be like a lot
Write it out.
quieter.
Oh no.
And then it's like, okay, sweet, now I can maybe get a jab, like, because it's available, like. And but this is all saying 50-50 chance. It's like,
And they are available. Look, there's a few million more shipments coming in, so
they keep going, well, they keep saying that, but it's like, you gotta think how many places are gonna distribute it to in Australia
that
to
to
try
come
and,
from the UK, I think, don't they?
possibly. Because that the Moderna or something like that?
Europe somewhere, I think.
The Pfizer's recipe and the Moderna.
It's funny. Pfizer, everyone's been taking Pfizer for years
Pfizer for
because
years.
they're actually medication is Pfizer, like some
Is
of
it
the
the brand? Is it
medications.
the brand? The
Yeah,
company Pfizer?
I think yeah,
Or is it, but then
Pfizer.
there's like the drunk, like that's the thing too, because like it's like a company brand. Like you have like AstraZeneca is like the brand, but like the actual chemicals they put in it is different to drugs you normally take.
I think they're just their thing. It's just their names, but
It's like
that's all it
it's
is.
like the lab name kind of thing. It's the chemistry,
Mm.
like the
'Cause I'm
chemistry,
pretty sure someone took pictures of their pills and it said Pfizer on it.
and that's because that's the company that distributes those drugs. So it's showing there. That's like these drugs are labeled under like it's like if you have Panadol, like there's the brand which is Panadol brand. Like your paracetamol,
Yeah, well,
like the brand is Panadol. So like that's
because
like
this is paracetamol, but it's got Panadol somewhere on the.
like it's like kind of like a brand per sense. So it's like when you go to like things like that. So like Pfizer is the lab brand, and then they had their COVID vaccination. Then you've got like the Moderna is the brand name, and then it's their COVID vaccination. Like it's like I have my medication for like my stomach problems or my blood pressure stuff like that. And there's like depending on which brand I buy, they'll have their different branding because they're like the companies that make them. There's the chemists that makes it like that chemistry
Yeah.
that distributes that range. So
I'm
you get
pretty sure
different budgets.
Pfizer is a big bloody health company, so
So they're a big, exactly one of the bigger ones. But it's kind of funny that a lot of different chemistries are coming out. But like, we're going to try and make all these COVID vaccinations, but there's ones you got to think about that are more, I guess, familiar with the science behind stuff, and then others that aren't so familiar with certain
hence
science because they're different.
the main two are AstraZeneca and Pfizer. They're the
What?
two main ones.
Well, there is AstraZeneca was trying to do it, which is the one that's been having a lot of problems. So is
Yeah, but the
AstraZeneca,
Pfizer is
where
pretty much good
Pfizer.
for most people.
Same as the Moderna. The Moderna's the new one they're bringing out, which is good for everyone as well. It's very similar to the Pfizer. So as we've had like a informational COVID talk at the start of the episode. I don't know why we got into this. Sorry guys, sorry to bore you with that intro start of like talking COVID stuff for like 15
Because it's
minutes.
a bit of a lockdown. Like that went from lockdown to COVID.
But then actually talking about,
Pfizer.
but then talking about like the science and chemistry behind things. Like we got all nerd talk there, talking about like different chemists and like the labs and stuff and shit. I just I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? But no, so I mean,
it might interest some people.
Science. That's the thing too. If you are confused by the names, it's like that. It's like a brand name, but not just a brand. It's the lab that studies. It's like the
It won't be the last time either. I don't think.
well, the way it's gonna keep because it's gonna keep going. Like it's still
No, I'm talking about, it could be more things you talk like that about, like in depth, fucking
yeah.
just random topics.
Like once you start talking about things, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Because
So
we know science ish.
we're nerdies. We're nerdies.
There it is.
We're a bit nerdies. It's just well, there's some people that just don't think of these things, so they don't look into it. So they don't, and that's like why
I
these
didn't
things
know
have so many
Pfizer was
names.
an actual company. Like, I didn't think they were a pharmaceutical thing. I thought they were just
That's
the
it,
name of
pharmaceuticals.
the.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a vaccine, but no, it's the company, I think.
Well, I did it again. was
That
lovely.
reminds me of
Morty.
when you spat on the floor.
That time when I was pretending to spit and I actually spat on the floor. I was like, meant to do the pa-ching, and I actually spat on the floor.
You actually see it. It's like,
Well, I'm gonna segue vomiting in my mouth to if you seen I think it was yesterday or today they posted it. It's been going around. It's a little live promo snippet just to kind of like boost. It's like advertising that Adult Swim. Adult Swim always do their advertisements. Kind of like
yeah.
little. And they sometimes do little live action skit stuff. So I don't know if you saw it,
Yeah.
but they did a live action a little like 15-20 second long video clip, live action of Rick and Morty.
hell?
Yeah, they did a little. So it's kind of funny because you see the portal open up. It's like you see the live action garage. The portal opens up. You see lower half. You see Doc, and then like Morty step through, and the Doc is Christopher Lloyd, and Morty is played by one of the young. I think he was in Stranger. I don't know if I think it was Stranger Things or it was one of the kids that played the kids in It. I can't remember now.
The same kid, probably.
One of the
You
kids.
done both.
It could have been too, but
Was it the curly haired dude?
no, it's the short. I think it was the short. So no, I think it was It. I think the kid's from It. He was the tall, skinny kid. I can't remember.
Yeah, the one with the curly brown hair.
Yeah. I think it was short brown hair or something. The full
I think he was
curl.
in both movies, so.
I'm not too sure.
Or both the show and the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, he does Morty, and it was kind of funny because it's just like, it's just Christopher Lloyd, and he like burps and goes, Morty. It's like, oh my god.
Think of it. Christopher Lloyd's got that kind of voice.
Well, that was always the thing though. Like that was the funny part. Like that's where Rick and Morty came from because it was the parody of because it was Rick and Marty or something or it was or something like that. It was Rick and Morty. I think
It was Back to the Future kind of thing.
It was yeah, and I mean back then it was a very if you remember that episode when they piloted the parody of it was basically a parody to Back of the Future. Back of the Future. What the fuck?
This episode, man.
Oh man! But anyway,
that's a weird one.
It was like a backflash, but that was like very very creepy weird. Like that Justin Roiland did back then when he did that Rick and Morty kind of Back to the Future parody. It was really, if you've ever seen that, because he gets to a point where he's like, Morty, you must suck my dick, Morty, suck my dick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like wow, that got really like dark, like deep, like suck my dick, and you must suck my dick. It's like what the fuck is this going? Like, of course it's like luckily there's none of that, but you think of the origin stories of like where Rick and Morty came from is that, and it's like now they're like it's like grandson and grandfather, like.
So they weren't that early on then.
They weren't related back then, of course, because it was meant to be like Doc Brown and Marty McFly. But
Yeah.
you think about when they started going parodizing to then go from this is what our pilot, kind of what introduced us to make Rick and Morty. When you think it's Doc Brown and Marty McFly, like Marty sucking Doc's dick. It's like wow, like how do you segue from making this as an arc? It's like. This is what I want to do as a concept story, and they go, we're going to change it now to like make it more PG, and now we've got a grandfather and a grandson. Like what?
I mean, it makes sense because it wouldn't be as popular if it was just like the original. It wouldn't be as popular.
Yeah, the YouTube, like it's like, ugh, it's kind of funny. It would have been very disturbing. I think.
I mean, it would have been funny, but also disturbing. Like people would have been like, "Nope, I'm done."
Just random scenes being like, "Suck my dick, you must suck my dick." Like what the fuck?
He still kind of says stuff like that though.
He does. He more is. He
Just
more
not
in
in
the
the
sense.
face. It's just not in your face. It's like it's more behind the.
Yeah, I'd say it's more not the sense of like actually saying "suck my dick." It's more of like the slow when you say to somebody like, "Hey, suck my dick." When you tell someone to fuck off kind of thing. It's like "suck my dick," not like literally going "suck my dick." Like it's so funny, but yeah. Just to think of the history. Now again, we've done a little backlog to Rick and Morty. We went in depth.
This episode can be like Blast of the Past or something. Like, what the fuck?
In depth, just go in depth with
Everyone's
stuff.
getting like a education for everything I would talk about.
We're getting very educational on this episode. Well, let's get a bit more. Let's go. Well, staying on the educational track. To teach those kids in China and stop their gaming. So there's more of that happening still. So China's been pushing even harder on the child restrictions with the gaming, and they've been allocating. Weird. They're trying to allocate their hours of gaming, and like I don't know, because they got the face recognition, I guess, like that. Like they got they're putting that into technology, but like how are they gonna have face recognition on stuff when they're like. Not everything has cameras. Like I don't know how you're gonna know. Like parental locks. Like how you gonna know if a kid's playing or not if the parent decides to allow them to play at those times. Like the parent like, nah, it's fine. Just turn these systems off and just like it's how is it gonna be actually controlled?
That shouldn't be legal to like give a child.
It should be up to the parent.
Like a 1 hour a day is like that's not long. That's not long.
But it should realistically be up to the parent, not the government.
Yeah,
like that's
the parent should set limits. So like I was on a limit when I was a kid. Like. I can only play certain times.
Because it was, I think, was it 1 hour a day with 3 days max of play?
Which is 3 hours a week.
Yeah. It's like... But
people wouldn't game. Like, it's just pointless.
Like, that's very base minimum. Like, I could... Like, they
also,
need to
can you imagine playing a game like God of War, which took me 60 hours? Do you know how many weeks? It's probably at the same time it took me.
Imagine doing
because I took a long break.
I was going to say, imagine playing it like a game like that or something, like any kind of game, and you're dying so much.
Fantasy for a sense.
Or like a roguelike game or something like that, where you're playing a game and you're trying to get through.
Returnal.
Imagine you've been grinding out the boss battle or a fight, any kind of fight, and you're like, ugh, and you spent like that. Imagine how many times dying you spent most of that time. You finally go, yes, I finished. I can move on. Oh, my hour's up. And you spent it the whole time. You
start back because it didn't save.
Because you couldn't make it to the save point, and it's like if it was just an extra 10 minutes, you could have made it to the save point.
That's such a flawed thing. Like, how are they getting away with that?
Like, but that's exactly it. How's the government? Like, that's
the point. It's the government,
and that's exactly it. It's the big thing. It's the government. Government shouldn't be having those controls. It should come back down to the parents. It should be a parent thing.
Even the kid. Like, if you say you've got a couple hours, play a couple hours.
Like I'm an adult, and I've actually been monitoring my own game time now and allocating new times, especially with me streaming my gaming. I've been bringing that back and been like, hey, I'm allocating a more responsible time so I can do other stuff as well. Like, I'm still doing my games, enjoying my games for a couple of hours a day, but not burning out like massive hours.
Unless I'm over night time now.
Like maybe tomorrow because it is my day off and I've worked all day today. And
Father's Day tomorrow if you're in Australia.
I don't know whether I'm going to spend some time. I mean, I spend time with my kids, but I may spend extra time with my kids for Father's Day. You know, it's one of those things. Otherwise, I may sit around all day and play games. I don't know what I'm going to do yet because it's a day where I just want to relax. So.
Could be all three things.
So that's exactly it. Sometimes all three. What's the other? Was it 2, 3, 4?
You said chill. 2 of the kids or just play games.
Oh, we'll be chilling
all 3 things. You can do all 3 at once. You get Jack on Fortnite with you.
Yes. Oh, I didn't blow my nose.
What you holding Max?
I do apologize. Give me a second.
That counts, right? Like.
Well, that's exactly it.
Are you using that headset, Mike?
No, I don't know.
Because I heard the when you blew your nose. Oh, I'm guessing you did.
I don't know.
What mic are you on?
I think what's happening is I'm using this for the Discord. But then this mic is capturing my audio for the actual podcast.
That's weird.
Yeah, my setups get confusing because I keep changing things too much. And I'm just like, I've got a point that works. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to change anything again because I don't want to fuck anything up. So this works. Well, this works for recording the podcast.
I haven't used this mic in like a year.
Yeah.
Well, since I have that. Again.
I was like, sometimes I keep forgetting that I have it and I'll stream it and the mic is over there out the way and I'm like sitting there talking like, hey, because I forget that I've like got this one, not this one set up.
I dig it.
It happens. I get confused. I'm like, oh, that's right, it's this mic. Great. Hey guys.
Dude,
my brain is all over the place.
Just use the damn one mic.
I know. Well, I see. When I use this, I got used to using this, even though I use this at times. This will be on, and so I can hear myself talking, and then I'll forget as well because I hear myself talking that my brain immediately thinks that it's being recorded. So like the mic will be out the way, and I wouldn't even realize. And I think people actually hearing me, and I'm like, "What? No, what?" It's like what? And I was like, "Oh, bring it in." Oh yeah. Or I'll change the settings and change it over.
Welcome to the world of Daz.
I hate not having this and me like not being able to hear because then I can't tell how loud
Yeah,
I
it's
am.
definitely that one you're talking through.
So yeah, because now it's here, but I can hear the me talking, so I can like okay, I know what volume I'm talking at,
Yeah, but with
so
these
to control
headsets,
my
so you can
voice.
hear yourself.
Well, these ones here, if I move the arm away, I can't really hear anything. It's very muffled, so I can't actually tell the volume I'm at. So I can't tell if I'm
Yeah,
loud or quiet.
but
So if I go like this,
because they're
I
because they're open back, like you can hear that easy. You can hear clicking, right?
yeah, kind of, but like it's muffled, so I can't tell the actual level of my volume. I've always had that problem. Like that's why I've learned to like be assertive when I talk in the podcast. But there'll be times when I'm having a conversation with someone, even when I don't have a headset on, like I'll talk with someone. To me, it sounds like I'm verbally like nicely leveled, and like, what are you saying? And I'm like, what? Like I'm talking. It's like, huh? It's like, oh, am I like, okay? Can you hear me now? Like it's like I just seem to be quiet. I don't.
I used to be like that.
I've
Now
never
I'm
had
the
the
opposite.
yeah. Like I've never known my actual monologue tone. Like I don't know what I'm actually volumed at. So I sound like I'm thinking I'm talking normally, and people are like, "Why are you mumbling for?" I'm like, "I'm not mumbling. I'm fucking talking to you. You just can't fucking hear me." It's like I don't know what level I'm at, and then sometimes I'll be talking like, "Use your inside voice." I'm like, "I am using my inside voice." It's like what? I don't know. I don't know if I'm outside or inside. I can't tell the difference on my level of volume. I've never had that. And I don't know whether it's because I've always had like issues with my hearing. So growing up, I've always been going back in time.
Three
I
times already. Let's go.
I used to have when I was younger. I used to get grommets in my ears because I used to have
Oh yeah.
problems with my hearing and stuff like gunking up, and I think my ear canals were shaped a bit weird. So I used to have the macaronis put in my ears to help. I guess must have been to
Those
shape
little
my
green
ears.
things.
Yeah, the little bendies. So I used to have them. I guess must have been to help shape my ear canal or something. I guess so. Maybe that's been a thing. So I've never been able to. I may have always had issues, so I've never been able to actually know the level of volume I've been speaking. I can tell when other people are speaking their volume, but I've never been able to know my own. So
Just like now, like I yell because I'm deaf and got ringing, so I can't
yeah,
tell my fucking volume that well.
the tennis ears.
Like
Te-
I think
te-
I'm speaking normal, but I'm a little bit poppy out here.
you got the tent in the itis.
Ten the I don't think I'm gonna attempt to say that.
Such a weird. Such a weird
What tinnitus?
tinnitus. Tent in the
Is
itis.
it tinnitus? Whatever the fuck you want to call it.
And that was like a TikTok I was watching. I think it was last night, the night before, and it was kind of like that. It was kind of funny, like thinking of that, like the word stuff is like what, like there was like the parody of like the sketch, like what would be the what's like for someone that has a lisp, like a stutter or a lisp. Like it was like before, like coming up with words. Like what would you
Yeah.
use the word for someone that has like a stutter, like a lisp? It's like I was like no, it's not stutter. It's like was it like they have problems pronouncing s words? It's like some like
Yeah, it's a
the
lisp.
lisp, and it's like it's lisp, and it's just like it's like, and then there was another one which was like it was like stutter as well. It's like someone that would, but they didn't use it in that sketch though. But it's like if someone has like, what would you call someone that has like that it would be a stutter, and it's like, and then it's like well the one that the
It used to
fear
be
of
called a stammer, so
stammer. And then the funniest one is always like the fear of the phobia of long words. It's the most longest word that makes no sense.
like
Oh,
the official word of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. A long fucking word.
so
I
like
still remember that somehow
that's
from
why there's like
when I
DNA
was in
because they're
grade
like be
10.
done with it. But it's just funny that there's things like that
A word
exist.
like this fucking long, deoxyribonucleic acid.
Yeah.
Like, try and spell
So
that. Like,
but it's
oh,
just the irony though. Like the fear of long words is one of the longest words in the English dictionary. And then like people would it's just, and there was another one as well which was pretty funny. I was like that it's so true though. It's so true. Like what are these people thinking? It's like were they pure evil? It's like
English.
Someone in the comments on the tickle was like, it's like this is what Loki did in his pre-time. Loki sitting there going, it was Loki that was sitting there going, what should we, like, there's like a board meeting whenever I go when they decide to name these things. It's just like, and there's one guy that was Loki, which no one ever knew it was. It's just like, what should we name?
That's like a lot of things though. Why is a lot of things named the way they are? Like,
it's so weird. Like, how did we come, like, it's just weird.
When you think of orange paint, orange is a color, it's a fucking fruit.
It's like they didn't like that's exactly it. Like, orange is a color, but it's the name of a fruit. Like apple. Apple is not a color. Banana is not a color. Grape is not a color.
Red. Apple's a green.
Yeah, but like the orange they just called it orange. It's like they just gone orange. But just orange. Like basically that means what they've come to is they've known the color. That's the color of what it's always been. Someone's just found the fruit and go, what do we call this? And someone just sat there and just going, orange? Like, they couldn't think of it. They couldn't think of every other name. The person goes,
how do you get the word
apple.
Orange? Like, that's a weird thing to say, like, orange. Like,
well, you think of the English language in general. It's such a weird... It's so weird. Just the word, just any word in general. But it's just like...
We're doing it again.
It's gonna happen this episode. It just is what it is. But, like...
Education episode.
It is.
That we're making up kind of because we have no fucking idea.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. That's why I guess we're kind of like educating in the sense that we're trying to figure it out. Maybe people can give us these answers, but
I don't care about that. I'm just
it's funny.
How the fuck do we get there?
Like that's like with some of these words. Like who came up with this word that now that we use in the average day basis? You know what I mean? Like these are words that we use all the time that we're saying. Imagine being the first person that came up with a word that has now been used all the time. Like. How did people come to that? Like, was it like, imagine you think about it. Okay, so like, you got people that are like the cavemen, and like, you think about...
It wouldn't be English either, because it would have had to been translated from like Greek or something.
Imagine being that change. So you think about when English
maybe
started.
It's translated, turned into orange from a translation.
Well, that's what maybe it is. But I was going to say, kind of a weird brain think of like, late night brain thought, or toilet thought, or shower thought, whatever you want to call it. But imagine being, like, when you think language started being developed, imagine being that precipice of when language wasn't a thing, so everyone was like, you know, caveman talk, and that one person was like, hey! It's just like, what? Everyone's like, and this was like, hi, I like fire. It's like, everyone was like, like, you know what I mean? Like, how did that change? How did we learn to change from, like, to, like, hey, this is fire?
Didn't talk like that.
That's what I mean, though. Like, most probably, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, we would never know because that's forever ago. You would need a time machine to figure that out. But like,
it's probably like the Croods. Maybe they just, well, back then, just talk English.
It was like, always like, that's exactly like, was it always just English, and that whole thing was just made up, like, from the pre-existence of man, from the first step of man. Again, it's like, monkey was like pre-evolution was like, we've come from monkeys, but the breed of monkey was like, yes, I am hairy today. Shirley, come over here and pick these bugs off my back. Like, exactly
like that.
It's like monkey. There's a monkey man. Like, yes. Hello there, Frank. How's the children doing?
It would have just evolved and just spoke. Like, it wouldn't have been a whole fucking talking monkey. Like, jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. They would have looked like monkeys, because you know how they show us like what we early age were. We look very monkey-like. Imagine that's the thing.
They would
have
just spoke English. They would be going.
That's what I mean. Like... That's what I mean. Imagine like having the monkey, like full on ape, full on monkey, and be like, hello there, Steve. How's the children's? It's just like it looks like a monkey. It doesn't look like us. It's just a full furry looking thing, and he's like, yes, I do like the weather, don't we? Like is that always?
What's the accent?
I don't know. Hello, Harley. I'm the Joker monkey.
Oh my god.
I don't know. It's like. These things I have thoughts of sometimes, like, when did we, like, has it English, or not English per se, but, like, that's, like, I guess the thing of the history of Babel, but, like...
English is newer than every other language, so...
Because a lot of other languages, like,
They wouldn't have been like Oogdy though, like, it wouldn't have been like that.
But that's always the funny thing, because they always say cavemen always sporked gibberish.
Yeah. Gibberish.
Gibberish. They spork gibberish.
They talk is gibberish. You're off the rails there.
You got anything to talk about?
You're off the
I got plenty
rails.
more. I got plenty more here, but I'll let you spit out some information and we'll come back.
I've got no information.
No
I've
information.
got other things, but like,
You got no information of
nothing like
the
that.
bongness. I got other like I'm going away from this now. I've got announcements and stuff, but I was gonna say if you got anything you want to squeeze in,
Yeah,
I
I've
can
got
come back.
I've got
I need
things
another
we can.
breather. I
Another
need
cyberpunk thing.
I need you to like yeah. I've got something for some. Might be the same thing. I need you to get so I can get my
Oh, it might
brain
be
out
the
of
same
it.
thing. Which means CDPR just hired some modders to fix the
Yes.
fucking game.
Yes, that's I did
Which,
have that
because the
written down.
modders did better than them, so I guess they hired the modders to like, here, we
Outsource.
pay you to do this while we work on game B.
Well, apparently it's not just the lot of it is like they've actually hired them on the team altogether, not just apparently working on
Oh.
Cyberpunk. They're working on everything as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're
You
basically
see that,
helping.
Bethesda?
They're basically reaching out to the community and they're helping to pick up the workload and actually going, okay, this is what we know what we're doing. But you look at modders and modders seem to have their own skill sets. So I guess
Bethesda could have learned from this. They can learn from CDPR. They can bring in some of their modders who are the probably typically top of the best to work on the next Elder Scrolls to make it fucking good.
It's a smart move, not just being so stubborn, being like, we're a studio, this is what we're doing, it's only all in-house. Like, they're actually outsourcing the work, being like, okay, let's get...
That's source, but like...
But sometimes they're just very, like, Bethesda, be like, we're just doing everything.
Which I think that's what they are, mainly because the games are very buggy when they launch. Like, Witcher 3 was buggy just like Cyberpunk.
Which, it makes sense, though, because then you've got other insights. That's the thing as well. When you've got people that are modders and stuff, like, they've got a different brain thought idea for
they
what these
play
guys
the
have.
games compared to just making them. I mean,
Yes.
the game developers do play them, but not as much as like us modders.
And I mean, it makes
Stuff
sense
like
because
that.
you've seen with how it's been going, and you've seen some of the modders that have been out there previously already fixing some of the stuff the game's already had. So they go, okay, we like what you're doing, so let's come
and
fix it.
everything like pretty damn quick.
Apparently there's one. I was looking when I was looking at the articles for CDPR because I thought we're going to bring it up at some point. That's the whole thing. There was another guy being like, "Oh, I'm too impatient. I'm going to bring out my own 1.3 patch and fix the game." And I'm just like, really? Like you're going to be that? I don't know if he did or not, but apparently 1.3 did get released.
It's like 50 gigs.
So the modders are working.
I haven't got the game installed, so I haven't tested since.
I haven't checked
so.
either. But the funny thing is, they're not just the modders that they've hired in aren't just fixing bugs; they're actually making the game so they can available for mod support as well.
Yeah, that's fucking good. Like games need mod support. Not all games, just stuff
But
like that.
these are
Like,
doing this.
so open world RPGs, they need mods because once you finish it, what are you going to play?
Exactly.
You can do it again, the same. Like give mods different options, different. Like Skyrim, that's got a realistic mod which looks fucking beautiful.
And if you allow the
better than what
support, it allows
Bethesda have
people
done
to.
with
It makes it easier, which that's the best thing. Because then if you don't have the mod support, it makes it harder for people to mod the game. And if you're going to be lenient and go, okay, let's make the game enjoyable. Well, then get the mod support, so it's easier for people to just download mods because then it's easier to. And I think that's what they're going for to make the community have like a DLC for people, like because being mod like I guess like the workshop kind of stuff that Steam has. I think that's what they might be aiming for, is to make stuff like that where people can go, okay, let's community add stuff up. And you can
it could be like kind of like Bethesda's mods, but with the workshop.
Yeah. So
because them mods on Fallout and Oblivion, Skyrim, they make the game 10 times better than what the base game is. Like you can put on a mod for different armors, weapons, different enemies, even. Like anything you want. Like Skyrim's the next edition has mods on there. Like,
well, like a lot of it, because there's even like I think that what they're trying to do too is we may even get the chance to do third person. Doo-doo.
Oh yeah, well, someone made the mod for that. Just they were headless and shit.
But like, I mean,
it was so janky, like to see him run like backwards and shit.
But I mean, that's the thing though. Like, because originally was going to be third person game, and then they ended up changing to third person.
I don't think it should be third person though. Like it plays so well in first person.
But it'd be kind of cool though if it does give that option to people, like if they want to actually play it third person. Like it's going to be kind of. Cool.
I'll keep it first because it's so immersive.
Definitely. Well, that's like being immersive. I was watching a GTA 5 in VR. There's a mod someone had made where you can use your VR in GTA 5, and it actually is like really cool because you've got the first person mode. but it allows you to. They've incorporated like the
That's
VR
what I'm
headset
thinking.
stuff.
The special is for the GTA 5 re-release on PS5. It could be VR support. I
mean, if it is, that'd be cool if they actually officially do VR support because it changes the game 100-fold. This dude, like, he really set himself up because he's got his whole setup when I was watching it. He has VR on, it's playing. So when he drives the cars, he actually uses his steering wheel and he drives around and he's like,
Oh yeah,
and he changes gear and it's really cool because he's sitting there going, and he looks around, he's like, what up? And he like gets immersed and he waves himself like he like, yeah, what up? And like gets really immersed. And then when he's walking around, he will use the controller to like walk around and do everything else, look around but like that's cool. Like I'd love to like be able to like play VR and just like cruising around and then like pick up, just shooting and driving around and just like having a great time, like. Because I tried playing it in first person, and it is cool playing in first person, but it's just janky because you're stuck to that movement. But if you're in VR, it looks a lot more fluid. It looks appropriate being in VR, and I'm like, that's something.
I like third person for GTA though because you can see more compared to first person.
But it's such a different experience being in first person. Like it's in actual VR. Like it's a whole different experience watching these
That's
videos.
like when you play
wow.
Skyrim and then Skyrim VR. That's way different as well. Like,
So imagine
I,
if you like.
I was having fun, but I made myself sick.
Well, I was
when I
gonna
was
say,
doing it. That's the only thing.
coming back with that, I was gonna say, imagine if there was like Cyberpunk with VR support. Imagine being able to like run around in that.
Yeah, but some of them actions probably not. Like some of.
But it'd be interesting though to actually be able to be in VR. Like actually
Imagine putting on that headset in VR with playing VR. Like you got the dance thing on, what it's called. That'd be dope. Like you put that on, and it gives you the full fucking screen. Ow!
It'd be pretty cool. But
I want to play Cyberpunk again because I've had so many patches now. Like,
there's
maybe
if you were to download it, there is an issue. I don't think they've done a patch yet, but there was a slight bug when they released 1.3. What ended up happening? I don't know if you read into it, but what ended up happening was with the 1.3 patch.
Cyberpunk anymore.
When they released the 1.3 patch that updated the game, it did one thing. It deleted the reflections from roads. So when it rains, so when it rains and stuff, there's no puddles, there's no wet roads. They wouldn't reflect the light.
I don't
they
think
wouldn't do nothing.
How do you get rid of that when you update it?
They don't know. They confuse themselves. They're like, they don't even know how it happened.
They test it beforehand?
I don't know. Maybe they tested it, but it was a sunny, like fine day, and it wasn't raining. Maybe they didn't think, hey, let's check. It's gonna like. Well, that's saying if you're gonna like release a patch, how are you gonna know that hey, everything else is fine. Like, oh, okay, it's good. Let's play the game. Oh, it's raining. Oh, the roads aren't reflective. Like, how are you gonna know? Like,
oh, fucking. There's always a puddle somewhere. I guess if they're not there, how are you gonna see it?
Exactly, it's no reflection for my complexion.
Maybe it is raining. They just didn't know. It's like, oh, it's raining, but there's no puddles.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that it's just something like that's happened. They've released.
Was it on all things or just certain console, certain PC?
Everything. Like... It's just everything. There's no reflective roads. It's like okay, it's not a big
it's not
issue.
a big deal, but it's sort of broken immersion because you need the reflection. Otherwise, it's like it's raining, but that's all one texture. Where's the shininess? Where's the wetness?
It's kind of funny.
How does that happen? What do they must have upgraded shadows or something maybe, and it just
possibly
like, taken them out. They've deleted it by accident. Who knows? It's weird. It's so fucking weird. I've never heard of that though. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is.
Speaking of what is it? Fixing games. Did you watch the gameplay? Not gameplay reveal, but it was gameplay early gameplay of the Dead Space remake.
No, I did not.
There's like half an hour of gameplay or so. Well, not gameplay,
I heard
but
it was out. Yeah.
They've shown what it looks like currently being made.
Yeah.
And man, it looks so good.
Yeah. I heard it does. Like pretty good.
Because you know how the first one looked, how it was just the corridors, there was nothing in there, just lights.
Oh, they filled it up. There's so much more detail.
Now they got smoke, they've got fog, they've got fucking lights flashing, being very dim, like a lot
more detail.
And they've also now got you can shoot off body parts, but You can do more body parts. You can hit the flesh off and then the bones.
More detail.
Like if you could shoot him and the flesh comes off and you shoot him again, then the bone just breaks.
Yep.
I'm like, they've added so much to it
Not
now.
just like how it was when you shot them, like they dismembered and that was it.
Yeah.
Like this time, it's actually more detailed.
Now they're bullet sponges. Like this thing, he shot both arms off, and it still kept coming. He shot his leg off, and then eventually shot it in the head. He took all the fucking skin off. It was all bone nearly.
Wow, that's cool. Like the extra detail make it a little bit harder. Yeah.
I'm like, that game's gonna be scary though, like because the environment looks fucking creepy. Plus,
Yeah.
those things now look fucking freaky. Like you can see their faces now. They got their mouth on and everything is like.
Guess they're adding a whole other layer of. I did see that I read an article headline saying it was going to be a lot more darker now because of like what they've done to it, which makes sense.
Well, they got HDR now. They got fucking everything. It's fucking ray traced as well. So you've got the light bouncing. So you got a little bit of light somewhere, and it's all in a dark room, and
Yeah.
like because they did a side by side, like the same hallway, and it looks 10 times better.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 13 years since that game anyway, but it's just crazy to think.
Been out for a while. Yeah.
2008,
Yeah.
13 years, man.
It's a long time.
But they did say it was very early in development still, so I'm like, it's not coming out this year or next year.
No, well, it makes sense though. There's a lot of games still coming out and stuff coming out, so.
Yeah, we've got a lot to look forward to next year still, really. Or at least on PlayStation side.
Well, so you mentioned that they did the drop of that collector's editions for
No, they did it for everything. The standard special, like everything at once, just bam.
No,
Which is weird. Like they'd have to drop the standard pre-orders, but they did on the same time, which it kind of makes sense. But but I'm pissed.
you're pissed.
Well, I showed you that. I was like, there's a collector's edition. There's no there's a fucking steelbook, but no disc.
Which is
like,
it is getting to that weird point though. Like that's been like that with a few games, and it's like Cyberpunk did, which I mean that makes sense for PC because PCs don't really use, but consoles
though,
like it's a bit weird when like they did that with like Halo 5, I think it was. For some of the higher ends,
always done that with Halo.
Like they did the code, but like if you bought the base, you got disc. It was like what? Like okay, like that's a bit weird.
But and the weird part is that it's only available on PS5. So just put a PS5 disc in there.
Like how hard is it not to put it? Like, it's weird.
Because to get on PS4, you've got to buy the PS5 box, but you can play that on PS4 as well. So I'm like, make 2 different editions. Make the PS4 collectors PS5.
Or like why not
have 2 different discs?
Give you like a disc for PS5, and then the code could be used for your PS4. Like
yeah, but then people just sell off the code to someone.
But then
if they did that,
people are selling
just
it either
give
way.
us a damn disc. You got 5 months. Just organise something else. Come on. I've even pre-ordered it. Come on.
I know it's just weird that they got to do things with.
I got to order it twice just to get a fucking disc.
Yeah. It's silly.
Which the weird part was, I was going to buy the steelbook for a second. I'm not. I'm just going to buy the normal base game because I'm going to just put the
disc in the
case in the.
I feel like it'd be funny if we get to the point where like they'll do steel. You know how they do steel, like they'll do steelbooks and they'll do codes. Imagine we get to the point in the future where steelbooks are now actually collector's items.
Oh.
Still good. But like it gets
a fucking
the point,
actual credit card, like on a metal card.
Well, it gets the point where actually that's like I was gonna say that's actually like Cyberpunk. Ironically enough, when on PC they put the code on the card. But like the steel, because you know every steelbook you get always has the spot to put your disc in. Like it always has that. Imagine we get to that point in time that steelbooks are just for like display cosmetics. That they're just a case. There's no like holders inside to put discs in. They're just flat on the inside. Like imagine if we get to that point. Like it's just here's a code. Steelbooks are just designed for show. And then it's just... I mean, it would kind of cool if you got detail on the inside, because if you have the detail on the inside and you got the knobbly things for your CDs, it kind of takes away when you're looking at the design on the inside. So if it was just fully flat...
But if you got a steelbook without... You can't put a disc in there. What's one having the fucking steelbook on display?
But then what's the point of giving a steelbook and not giving you a disc? Like,
Yeah, that's the part that I don't like. Like, give us a disc. I mean, a code for PS4 version, maybe if you can find a way they don't sell it, like make it, if you sell it, it's illegal. Like,
I don't know how that. Yeah, it's just
make it redeemable just for your thing. I don't know how you're going to do that. I mean,
no.
they can work something like give them your ID. It's only bound to your account, something like that,
I
which
can
would be
see what
pretty
it would.
cool. Yeah, it would. They're going to make it work on your thing, like how you purchase a game.
Yeah,
They can make it you purchase that on your account.
possibly. I don't know.
Hey, it's Sony. They're probably thinking all this
Who
ahead.
knows?
It's like
But
they're probably testing this,
well, I don't know what
like getting
Sony.
feedback.
It was Sony or what's the studio that does Horizon?
What Gorilla?
Gorilla. So I don't know who thought of it. Well, there's Gorilla or Sony that's come up with the idea of not doing a disc, but
I reckon it's Gorilla because they're making the thing. So
it's like, why couldn't you put a disc? Why
I mean,
couldn't you?
I reckon that's a bait thing for feedback. That's what I reckon it is. Like they're they're testing
No,
it.
not really, because it's not the first time this has happened. This has happened plenty. Like I said,
It is for it is for Sony.
it's just weird. Like, why
Like
would you?
this game out of all games, a
Why would you?
massive
You
game.
like the edition's like $300. If you're paying $300, like if okay, if it's $300 and you're giving a code and there's no manufacturing of a disc being put in the case, that statue better be a fucking really good quality.
No, but still, you're getting a steelbook, which is roughly like 80 to $100. So
Just for a steelbook, it's not worth $80.
it is when it comes with a disc. The disc is just
Yeah.
a. The disc isn't worth anything. They're fucking cheap.
Like, the thing is, when I
They're
was
what
like,
like
well, that's what I
it
keep
costs them
saying.
cents to make a disc.
That's what I mean. Like, at least with a disc, you've got the code backed up. You've got a copy of the code on the disc. With a code, that's magical paper. Once you've downloaded, then the code's on the console. You can't act like if you have readers and devices that you could read things. You could rip a disc and access the files on a disc, which people do sometimes do. But like with a console,
getting
it's on the
harder
console.
now. Yeah,
Like what are they? What are they trying to get at? Like, why
I
are
know.
they
I'm
trying to put
hoping they
disc?
get enough feedback to say, "Oh, we fucked up," and they include a disc
Well,
at
what needs
least.
to happen is people need to be calling them out on Twitter and
Which
be like,
what we're doing now
we're
as well.
calling them out on a podcast, but like, are people calling them out on Twitter? Like, are people being like, "Where's their
Oh,
discs?"
I will.
Like, it just seems weird not including a disc.
I'll use both fucking Twitters for that.
Yeah,
Well, we're not the only ones calling them out either. Like I've seen 3 other people on my YouTube who don't like it either. They're like that. But the main thing is they're not concerned about the disc thing. It was if you own the base PS5 version,
PS4.
the base PS4 and the special edition PS4, you cannot play it on PS5.
And that's what gets
You
me as
can't
well.
upgrade it. You can't do anything.
But that's exactly. See, if you own those versions, which means they're forcing you to buy the PS5 version, but theoretically you're buying the PS5 version in a collector's edition, but they're giving you a code. So are they?
Yeah,
So are they going to be even releasing? Like, are they actually releasing on PS5? It is on PS5.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what
But
are
the
they?
thing is, you can use a code on PS5 and PS4, but you can't use a PS4 standard or special on PS5. But there's also 120 million
Well, actually,
PS4s out there.
how do they? How do they? Well, I mean, originally the game was intended to only be on PS5. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
intended to be on
I mean,
PS4.
no, that's how it was on PS4 last year.
Hey.
They said in 2020 it was on PS4 as well.
Oh, I thought it was just going to be a PS5 exclusive
No.
originally. So they
No,
did say it was
people
going to be on
thought that until they said it in their blog post that it's PS4 and 5.
both. I thought it was always going to be just PS5. So I thought maybe that's
No,
what
that
they were
was
doing.
God of War.
Okay.
And then now they're like, it's on PS4. So I'm like, at least make it you can upgrade the damn PS4 disc because people will grab that because it's cheaper.
Maybe that's
people
why
have-
they don't want people
The
to
majority of PS4 owners, and if they've got to buy the game twice,
So and
they're
then,
not going
and
to
then
be very fucking happy
PS4 you
about
can
it.
only get the standard and the special, but then if you've got PS5 you can buy this like standard PS5, special PS5, and then like PS5 collector's edition.
And the collectors and
But you can't do a
whatever it is.
PS4 collector's edition.
Nope.
It's just okay. Yep. That kind of gets an
It
idea.
makes sense, but like at least make it you can get the PS4 standard or special. At least make it you can upgrade to like a $10 upgrade. Like
Even then, like,
give that.
why couldn't they have done like PS? But then they've gone. Well, that's why they've done the code because it's like they don't want to do another edition. That's why they've gone code. But
Yeah, but like still give us a PS5. It's a PS5 box.
maybe they fucked up with the.
No, I reckon they're testing stuff. Like they're
No,
definitely.
that kind of makes
This is
sense.
deliberate. This is deliberate.
Maybe.
It specifically says you can't upgrade the the base on PS4. The two base games you can't upgrade them. You've literally got to buy a whole new game. Unless you buy the digital deluxe, which it's a download, so of course you can use it on both.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because you've got the PS4 version which can't work on PS5. You've got PS5 which can't work on PS4. But then they make you got. But then they make it's kind of weird when you come back to the collector's edition because the collector's edition does specifically say PS5 on
It's
the
a
box.
code.
But why
Yeah, but
couldn't the
it's
box
also a
just
code which works on both
no,
PS4
no,
and
but
PS5.
like we said, the other day, why couldn't the box just say PlayStation on it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, because
But
remember
it says
you were saying that,
PS5.
like that's what I'm saying,
So I
because it
was
says
thinking
PS5,
the PS5 disc.
but like what I'm saying though, like if you're
It's
gonna
just a PlayStation box,
no,
like
no, that's
as
exactly
you
it. But
said.
like, let's say like you mentioned that yourself the other day. If you're gonna have a code that says
Oh
PS4 and
yeah.
PS5,
Mm,
why won't you have the box just say
mm,
PlayStation? Because you're
yeah.
getting a version that works on both. Like, why
Yeah.
say, you know, it is interesting. That's almost like they're doing in code form though.
It's definitely deliberate, whatever they're
Well,
doing.
what they've done, it is kind of funny. It's like it's code form though, but it feels like the whole Xbox thing where you've got the one disc that works on all platforms, but they've done it in code format.
Yeah, but the discs don't do
No, that's
it.
exactly it because they've got the disc. Because if you think about it,
Well, one disc does.
mm,
No. PS4
no,
disc
no,
does it because there's
no.
only.
Because what if you remember, like if you've got the PS4 with like the PS4 games, you plug them into your PS5 and you get like an update kind of upscaling kind of
Yeah,
download.
that's what this should be,
But
but
then
they're
you've got the
like, no.
PS5, and PS5 only works on the PS5 console. But then you could be coming to the whole Xbox thing. You've got the one Xbox disc, and that will work on your Xbox One, or it will work on your Series X.
Mhm.
So is PlayStation starting to test source codes
Nah,
through DLC? Whether they might start doing that track too, where they might do some of these
that's
games
it.
that are
It does
multi-platform.
anyway. Like most games, except for this, do it.
Mm.
This game does not. Like, why this one? Like
Maybe the game will
Spider-Man
do it,
PS4 works on PS5.
but you don't get the full update.
Sackboy works on PS4, works on PS5.
But
Horizon, nothing.
Didn't PS5 have an exclusive update though? Didn't PS5 have that extra
I
update?
think Sackboy was free. I think Miles Morales was free too. Oh,
Yeah.
probably $10,
No,
which
but
that's
did
what Horizon should be.
did PS4 get that latest update, or was it just PS5 only? Because I know PS5 has the ray
What
tracing,
update?
but there was the whole update of the game
Oh
on the
no,
side.
no. I think it was just PS5 because it had the ray tracing 60 frames,
So that
which
technically
PS4
makes
could
it.
not do that.
That's what I'm saying. So if you put the PS4 disc into the PS5, you don't get that upscale ray tracing or anything like that, do you?
I
You
think
get
you would, yeah, yeah, because you got to download the patch, so you'll get it through that.
get it digitally. Did it do it?
You just don't get it on PS4 though.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I'm just wondering what did the PS4
I'm
version
thinking
do
they
it?
did it for those, but Horizon, they're like
Well,
nothing.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. So if they've done it with Spider-Man, this is I know a different studio. So that means if they made it where you put the PS4 disc into the PS5s, it gives you the ray tracing ability, and it gives you the
I think you got to
updated.
pay $10 for the upgrade though, which makes sense.
That makes
Like
sense
you're
because
paying for the
fine.
extra work, but
Yeah.
like I
So
don't get how you can buy the PS4
no,
Horizon and it won't work unless you get the code version. So like,
that's why I'm wondering how different it is the game, or is there different patches? Like I'm confused.
but you can patch it with like Spider-Man and Sackboy in
Yeah,
that. You can
it's
just
weird.
throw a patch at it. Like
Maybe they
they
didn't.
fucked up.
Maybe they didn't want to do that. Maybe they didn't want to throw a patch. They just make two different versions on disc. It's just like
They could
here,
have made
run.
yeah, but they're making people pay 20 extra bucks for the next edition up, so you can do it.
Or not even. Are they actually like if you had the PS4 version, you're stuck into your PS5, do you have to pay $20 or something like that, or is it not even that?
No, I said it doesn't work
So therefore,
like
if
at all.
well, even then, that's not even an extra $20 then. So if you bought it for the PS4, you've
Oh,
paid.
you actually got to buy the next thing
That's what
up from that
that's what I'm saying.
for an
So
extra 20, probably more than that here, probably like 30 or $40,
well,
whatever
not
it is,
even. No, I said not even that
35.
if that works with the edition. Is it the PS4's what limited edition
A physical disc you cannot use. You've got to buy the
code?
online
Yeah, yeah.
fucking vouchers
So
and
what I'm
to do
saying
it.
though, I was going to come back from that is so if you bought it on PS4. A physical copy on PS4, you spent $60, and then you later on the track you get a PS5. You therefore have to spend another $60 or $70 to buy another disc. So you're actually spending more money.
You have to buy the game twice. unless you buy it online on just
Digital.
through a code, and then you own it for both. I'm like, just make your disc backwards compatible.
Yeah, why can't they do like what most of these other PS4 ones do, where you can plug it in and it runs an update?
Yeah. I, maybe they will, like maybe the backlash they're getting, maybe they might do it.
Or maybe it's just something in the interim for now that they could only do for now, and then down the track, that's maybe what they're getting at, which they're not
They've
explaining
had
is
so long to do it.
well, there's that. I mean, look, they delayed the game as well, so maybe it's something that they haven't been able to rectify properly at this stage. So they made it for now. Because think about it. Okay, if you got a PS5, okay, so let's just straight get to
But
this point now.
Spider-Man and that happened at launch. That was all done. Like you could play it straight in there.
Well, the PS, you got to think about Spider-Man's been like 2018, wasn't it? Something like that. 20.
No, the Miles Morales one.
Yeah, well, you got to think about it. So I think
I got the upgrade straight up, same as Sackboy in that.
and I'll say another argument to it as well. Okay, if you've got with the game, okay, if you're going to run the PS4 version, are you going out of your way soon to buy a PS5? Because then, if you know you've got the intention to buy a PS5, wouldn't you then just go ahead and just buy the PS5 version?
Because yeah, but they don't know when they're going to get them, so they're
So
just going to
then,
get the PS4 to play it, and then they're like, "Oh, this doesn't work." They either sell that to get the PS5 one,
yeah.
which Sony's still laughing. They're selling twice the amount of copies.
Well, that's maybe what it comes down to, because you trade it in and then you just buy the new version. Like, or at the same sense, besides that, maybe at that point in time down
And
the
that could be a
track.
month later. Could be 12 months later before you get a PS5.
But
Like,
at the same
they don't
time,
know.
what they might do as well at this top point in time. The another option could be what they could be doing is it's your intention. If you're going to buy a PS5 version, you're either going to be getting a PS5, you're going to have the PS5, or the sense is you buy the PS4 version. Once we've gotten to the point, once we've figured it could be months time, 2 months time, they might have released a patch that you can then put your PS4 into a PS5, and it
That's
will
what I'm
update.
thinking because people are pissed at
Well,
that.
not just pissed. Maybe it's just something that they're not bothered about doing right now. Because if you're thinking about it, if you're buying for the PS4, you're intending to play it right now on the PS4. Not be like, oh, I'm going to buy for the PS4, play it for 2 days, be like, oh, I've got a PS5 now, I'm going to chuck it. Like, well, if you know you're going to get that in 2 days, buy it for the PS5. Like, why would you go out of your way to buy it for
The
PS4?
other
Like,
thing I
oh,
think
I've got a
about that
PS5.
thing is just
Like,
hell. There's more PS4s out there. People are going to buy it.
for PS4, it
And
makes
they're
sense.
like,
That's
then they're
why
like,
I
oh,
think
we
that's
can make
why.
them buy it again for PS5.
I think that's maybe what they're going for, is because I think by the time it gets around,
There's 120 or so million PS4s. Like they're going to sell that game like
which
that.
I think that's why they're doing the PS4 release as well. So I think it's not that bad of a move. I think we will see an update at a later track.
I
Not
mean,
because
it
of
is a
backlash.
scummy thing that you can't just upgrade the disc. Like
I reckon
the
you
other
can.
games you can.
No, but that's the other thing too. Like, I can understand the upgrade. Like, I can understand your argument about the upgrade. But like I said, why would you go out of your way if you have even
I'm
if you
not
have a
arguing on that
PS5?
because I mean
Like,
it doesn't bother me.
I'm wondering what they're getting at is I'm wondering what they're getting at this point in time is if there's a different price bracket as well between the PS. Is it the
there
same
is.
price, or is there actually a difference between the standard PS4 version and the PS5 version? Are they the exact same
Different.
price? So there is a difference between
PS5 is
prices.
125. PS4's
And they're the exact same. Like, they're
100.
classified as the same edition, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
So okay, so what they're doing there? Okay, I kind of see what they're doing. I kind of see what they're doing. So coming from my perspective, being in retail, so what they're doing there is they're
All the
going.
PS5 games are the same price. $125.
So I mean,
The
they could,
PS4s are the same price. There's no price difference.
oh, so they are exactly the same price, base
No,
minimum, or they actually are different.
that's just like Spider-Man and the PS5, PS4. They're the same thing. Like that happened is well. I mean, not to the same degree because
Because
they wouldn't
I
charge
remember- I remember-
125 for Spider-Man.
You know,
Jesus
because
Christ.
when we had Cold War drop, it was Cold
Extra
War.
$10, wasn't it, or 20?
Cold War was
Because I paid 120 for
what was
Cold
it?
War.
It
I
was
think
like
on PS5.
It was like 79 or 89 on PlayStation 4, but then it was 109 on PlayStation 5.
Mm.
So that was is it because I haven't looked, is it like that? Is it like that
Yeah,
for
but
Horizon?
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
can
okay.
also put that in PS5 as well and
No,
play
no,
it.
but that's what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is I think what they're trying to do is push PS5 sales. No, because it makes sense. Because think about it.
Yeah, but you can't buy a PS5 now. I mean, you can
Well,
very.
this is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm getting at. It's kind of an interesting move. So you've got people that have PS5s. So there's two different ways you can play it. You've got those people that are out there. They'll be like, okay, so you're the company. You've got your PS5 company, your PS5 copies and your PS4 copies. Okay, so you got your different price brackets, so you're going to make more profit out of that. Okay, so if you got people that have got like you got people over here that have their PS5s, you got their people over here buying PS4s. Okay, so if you're trying to push both sales of a game, so if you're trying to have a PS5 copy and a PS4 copy, if people can spend and save save $30 on a copy by buying the PS4 and then get the free upscale, people are going to buy more copies of the PS4, and you're not going to sell anything of the PS5 because you're
Oh, they did
saving.
for the other games.
So what they would have to have done to get equal sales is add the same flat price, no $20 inflation or whatever. So what they're trying to do there is they're going, we'll charge an upper price for people that want it on PS5. So what they're
What are the
doing
prices? Let me have a look.
is
You,
kind of
you keep going.
a slightly dirty move on the consumer, but they're trying to get the money
Majorly
back.
dirty.
But what it comes down to at the same time is it's stopping people being shady and being like, we'll just buy all the PS4 copies and play it on our PS5s. So they're saving the $20. So basically, when you got to come down to it as a distributor, do you sell
Not
the
really,
game
because
at
at least give
price?
a $10 upgrade. Like that's what the other games have, like a
They
$10
could, well,
upgrade.
you could have been even like
I'm
say,
at 20, I think.
well,
I think
like one of the situations that's different is like I've said before, Ubisoft did PS4 and PS5. They did the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, exact same price. No matter what
yeah,
version you bought, it was the exact same price.
yeah.
79,
But also
79.
that disc works on the PS4 disc works on
That works
PS5.
as
It
well.
doesn't matter
But
what one you bought.
I think, like I said, what I think what they're trying to do is I think what they're trying to do is what they're trying to do is get an actual statistical level even of how many copies they can sell on PS4 and how many copies they can sell on PS5. And I reckon they're trying to get that statistic first so they can actually get a solid number of how many people are buying PS5 games and how many people are buying PS4 games. Because my opinion, if I was to just have a free range thing and sell PS4 games at a cheaper price, me personally, if I had if I had a PS5 and I could buy a PS4 copy for $30 cheaper and then only pay $10 to get the upgrade, I'll buy the PS4 version
Yeah, that's what
because I'm going to
other
save.
games have because
That's what I'm
you've got
getting
to
at.
treat your consumers nicely, and then
And
they'll come back.
that's what I think.
If
That's
you
what I'm getting
pull
at.
this move, they won't. They're like, ah, fuck that.
And that's what I'm seeing at this point from being someone that's worked in retail industry and sales of like and seeing
Yeah,
how
but you've
things
got to take that little hit to get them on your side. Like,
and that it is different, and I think that's what they're going for. I think that's what's
like
happening
Sony
is they
knows
want
this
people.
game's going to sell fucking well.
I think
Because
what
the
would
first
have
game did. Like,
yeah, I think what would have been the best thing to do across the board was to sell it at the one price.
like you can't sell them at the like here on JB Hi-Fi. You've got Forbidden West PS4, It's $89.
Yep.
The PS5 version is 109,
So it's up by $20.
and the special edition steelbook and the
Still
book
$20, yeah.
PS4 124, PS5 139. So not
Plus,
that
it's even
much.
cheaper. It's gone down in cost.
What?
It's gone down in cost for the special edition.
No,
compared to standard.
that's just a steelbook.
Yeah, no, I'm saying from the base version to the steelbook version, the price for the PS5 is actually because like so here's the ratio of here's
The
PS5
100
standard,
the 109.
and it's come down in price. Like the actual total price is
That's because it's JB Hi-Fi, not EB Games.
No,
At
it was-
EB, it's 125.
so they've still got that that flat ration of like so much percent. So like basically they've gone down. by-
JB 109 for the base game, just the Horizon PS5
yeah.
109. Like
That's that's $20 more.
that makes sense.
No. But what I'm saying is
But then again, they could charge the $10 from that, make it 99, and that's your upgrade. You're not losing that fucking much.
it's yeah. So I can see where it's coming from. I can see the understanding to a degree. It's a
I reckon they're
sales
going to
tactic.
change it. To be fair,
I think what they'll do is they'll push the sales. It'll be a statistic. I think they're going for statistics. Personally, I think they're pushing for statistics on sales.
they're just testing the thing what they can get away with before people just go. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
basically, it's statistics. And like I said,
This is that. Like people are pissed on the internet.
I reckon they'll push that first, and then later on down the track, we'll see an update, an upscale update, which you can get for the
That's
PS4
what I mean.
version.
Like they'll
Like-
eventually make it. You can put your disc in PS5 from PS4.
Oh, yeah.
They'll have to
It's
do it.
just
Otherwise,
an
people
initial. It's
won't.
just an initial sales. It's just
They
an
won't buy
initial.
it twice.
No. It's definitely an initial sales tactic. It's definitely an initial sales tactic, and by all means, I can see where they're coming from. Unless you're gonna do
The general consumer wouldn't even know. Just say grandma got him the PS4 version for PS5. They're like, my disc doesn't work.
yeah, and that's the thing too. It's meant to be consumer understanding. Like it's like I said, coming from my perspective, I can see where they're coming from. I can see like what you're trying to get an understanding of. But like, yeah, it is slightly dirty to the consumer. But I can understand that they don't want everyone going out of the way just to buy PS4 copies of the game because it's cheaper.
But they won't because people with PS5s will buy the PS5 because You'll get the instant.
Yeah,
You don't have to
but
pay the extra to get the upgrade.
my
You'll just
dude,
get the full game
my
the way it
dude,
is.
there's Billy Bob Joes out there that are bumfuck dummeries, and they'll be like, I'll
Oh
buy,
yeah,
and Scungy Bums are like, I'm gonna buy the PS4 version because I'm saving $30 and I'll chuck it in my PS5, and they're
not
not.
really because they're still going to pay the upgrade fee if they had it.
Yeah, but then they're saving
The
twenty
10 or
bucks.
$20, which evens it out.
It can't even it, but they're still
So
saving $10 or something like that. And as a seller, you don't want to be losing, so you either do the games at an even price, like I said, like Ubisoft have
they
done.
know how they sell. They've sold Spider-Man. The PS5 beat the PS4 version.
That's
They've sold more PS5 than PS4.
that would be coming from like their
So
marketing team. That's their marketing team doing that. So it's an interesting tactic, but they're definitely wanting to see what sells. What's gonna, and they're gonna know if PS4 will sell more of most probably. But I definitely as
of
the
course it'll
sales
sell
side.
more, but like because there's 120 odd million of them, probably 130 compared to
Well, there
I should-
was, there was. There's a lot of people that have sold their old consoles as well.
yeah when they got PS5s mainly, which means they're still
But I can
the
definitely
games
see,
still
like,
sell.
if I personally would, is to the sense as well. I mean, if I was releasing a game, I would either be doing more of Xbox side of things, where you got the one disc. Or this is where I do see
I think they
thing.
they're just not cut off the disc. It's like there's no upgrade. It just doesn't work. It's just considering last year it says it works.
I'd say it'd be an update. It's definitely a marketing tactic to get statistics, and then they'll update it at a later date, or they have having problems with the update, so just like, let's just do this for now, and then we'll upgrade it later. They're definitely milking the extra money out of from the people that are buying the PS5 versions. Because I can tell you now, definitely how I'd see it is everyone, if they could get the PS4 copy working on the PS5, they'll go out of their way and
Of course they
everyone will buy the
can.
PS4
They
copies.
just not.
Because I've
Could
seen a
you
lot of
look at
people
that at AB the PS4 version, $110, 109.
for the PS4 version. Yeah, because that's just EB. EB always does that. And then their PS5 is 129 or something.
125.
100, so it's only gone up by $15.
Yeah, but
100,
like still,
yeah, $15. And that's what I was saying about the JV Hi-Fi copy. So you got the standard ones where it's like I was saying before. The standard copy on PS5 is $20 more, but then you come up to the Steelbook edition and it's only up by $15 more. So it's actually come down by $5.
hmm.
So they did. It's interesting what they've priced these things. Definitely a marketing tactic, and it
Do
could
not
be
buy from EB. If you're in Australia, do not
Oh,
buy
no,
from
no.
EB. Get it from fucking JB.
unless it's certain special editions.
Unless there's the collectors, because they've got most of them.
I it,
But
it
they have to
honestly,
change that disc issue, and then
honestly,
that's all.
it might even be a part because they're a Sony company. It could even be a part Sony tactic thing to actually get statistics on how many actual PS5 owners there are out there.
There's already millions.
Oh yeah, but if you had a game that's exclusively on PS5 like that, like you can and a PS4, you can actually get straight up statistics on your sales on who actually owns what.
I still reckon that's going to outsell the PS4
I
version.
mean, not
Like,
everyone. Like, it's not everyone. Like everyone. Like these people that own these consoles, like PS5, PS4s. Not everyone's going to go out of their way to buy this game. Not everyone's
No.
going to want it. But there'll be a majority that will buy this game. Like The Last of Us. Like everyone's going, "Oh, it's this shit," and everyone's going, "No, we're not going to buy it." But then look how many copies that sold. Like it sold fucking millions. Like
and
I don't
enough to make a third one apparently because
yeah.
it's already been written. Like it's already been completed. Like the writing's done. They're going to make it.
Okay, sticking with the
Which is
relationships,
crazy.
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh yeah, it's going to keep going. At least a trilogy.
I think it's a trilogy.
It would make sense. You'd have to with a franchise like that, where the way it's going.
Well,
Otherwise you
the
might
way it
get-
ended, it has to. I want more. I want more.
being related with the whole crazy stuff with consoles and stuff too, because they're gonna with the issue with all these consoles because scalpers keep buying everything up.
Not bad, but it's just the shortages of the parts. That's why they're behind.
That's another thing. Toshiba have put out a thing on their end that they're still having problems, and they've got
The semiconductors and that.
they're still saying their chip shortages will still continue on to September next year.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
I mean,
like-
have fun getting the console in the next fucking year still.
but
and-
that's even the thing.
But
Like,
then again, Sony have modified their console now, so that's got a smaller heatsink and
they've
everything. Just so you
adapted to
can,
make it easier for parts.
yeah. I mean, it still runs the same. It's quieter, which is weird.
They've just
Like, they got a
learned
smaller
to.
heatsink, but it's quieter, but it runs a little bit hotter, which it's only like 3 to 5 degrees. It's not fucking
Not
much.
actually that bad to actually cause any
No.
problems. It's just that little bit.
Well, they would have tested that for the whole year from then until now. I thought,
Well, that's the thing. They get to learn to improve.
Mm.
So,
And they've made it 300 grams lighter, so
just
it's
because
not
it
as
passes
heavy.
more, yeah. Because they've
It's only the
compacted.
heatsink that's different. I mean,
Yeah.
they got a different fan as well. The fan's more open, so it probably does more air, pushes more air.
Counteracts for the heating and stuff, yeah.
Because all they did was test it was with a phone thermometer. So I'm like, it doesn't really give a good.
Yeah.
It was 3 to 5 degrees difference, which you're not going to notice
It's
that when
very
you're
minute.
playing.
It's very minute, yeah.
I mean, that's being sold here in Asia. So you can get a PS5 here now in Asia. Like, it's the new model.
Yeah,
It's only
the
the digital edition so far. So
oh yeah, makes sense.
who knows if
Um,
they've done the disc edition? Well,
who knows? Oh, they most probably won't be too far behind. Depends on
it
how they got
depends
the
if they
drives.
can do it with the because I guess you've got to hold a disc in there and spin it. And,
A little
maybe you
bit
need
extra
all the
heat,
cooling for that.
maybe might make it easier. Maybe they're going to go through some of their old. Maybe they got the old consoles. They're going to gut out some of the old parts and put them into the disc drive ones, maybe for that reason, and then re update.
No, it's the same kind of heat sink, but it's not copper. It's aluminium,
Yep.
and it's a lot smaller. It's like half the size now.
Yeah.
They took out half the heatsink, but it runs a little bit warmer. Like that's not
Not
bad.
bad. What I was going to mention, there's not much for. I was going to say bring up the games for Xbox and PlayStation. The games of the month.
Oh, I
I
didn't
haven't
even
done
look at
that
that.
for a while. We haven't done that for a while, so I was looking them up earlier. So PlayStation games for the month.
I know the
Uh,
PlayStations are good.
they're Overcooked All You Can Eat.
That comes 1 and 2, by the way.
Hitman 2.
I want to play that.
And Predator Hunting Grounds.
I want to play that too.
So I'll have to look at getting those. Play some Predator Hunting Grounds.
Cool. Well, apparently it's good now. Like they've been updating it and that. So they're still janky because it's a small team. I think that made it.
But there's some decent games for PlayStation. On the other hand, you've got Xbox over here that are dropping Warhammer Chaos Bane, which I think we've seen in the gold before.
No, that was Warhammer. Just
Different one? One of the other ones?
Warhammer. I think
Yeah.
Vermintide. I think that was.
There's been a few different ones. And then
Like
Malacca.
two. What the fuck is that?
Malacca. I don't know.
Malacca. What the
I
fuck's
was like,
Malacca?
okay. Like, I was like,
I mean, that makes sense because a few months ago, PlayStation had Maquette. So,
Maquette. A Malacca Maquette.
but Maquette was a PS5. PS5 game that they just chucked on there.
And you got, I'll say before we get to the big heavy stuff, you got anything small before we get into the big streaming?
Genshin 2 and a Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Aloys in
Yeah,
Genshin
I've already
Impact.
I mentioned that a while back, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they've been mentioned a while back.
Well
And they
then,
popped up in the news again, yeah.
I got one more thing, which this next Friday, the 10th for us here, is the PlayStation Showcase. What?
So we'll have news
We've
on
been
that.
waiting for it since E3. Like they've announced they're going to do something, but now,
Like, how many months later?
what? June wasn't it?
Yeah.
E3. Like 3 months.
Like, usually it's like in the same window, usually.
3 months I've been waiting for this, and it goes for like 40 minutes, I think.
Interesting.
And I think we're seeing God of War, which would be pretty fucking cool if they show like a bit of gameplay, maybe an even proper trailer.
More announcements on that, yeah.
There was something else there. I think it's all first party stuff, so that's pretty cool. But it's PS5 stuff, no PS4, hopefully. Like, give us the future.
Actual,
Like,
yeah, future.
drop the PS4 stuff. Just keep. People have to upgrade eventually
That's
when
like,
when they can. Just give them a reason to upgrade.
well, they're trying to with the PS5 copy of Horizon Zero.
I mean, yeah. But like, what if God of War's gonna be the same then?
Well, it
Ooh.
wasn't it being exclusively to PS5, or were they doing a backwards copy?
Doing a PS4 as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are doing
That's
because they know they
that's
can.
going to run mad because I heard, David Jaffe,
Yeah.
he has
It's designed for
people at
PS5.
Sony that he still talks to,
Yeah.
and he said that God of War is aiming to be 40 hours long gameplay was. That's way bigger than
That's good.
2018. That was only 20
It
hours.
must be if they're going for that though. I feel like that must be maybe incorporating
So
a
I was
lot more.
delayed as well, maybe.
Well, I feel like if you, I think they were kind of hinting that a little bit. But if you're going for those hours, that's definitely adding in more like world exploring kind of elements,
Which
like
that was a look. I put
larger
60
regions.
hours in the God of War. I put 60 odd hours. If I this is gonna be 100.
Yeah,
God of War, 100 hours.
with all the things you'll be able to do, not just the main stuff.
Because I'll go for the platinum for that too.
Well,
And
they might. That's we might actually see like it going down more of an RPG route. Like,
nah, I don't. You can't change that formula. What they got there.
well,
It already was an
it's
RPG
that's what. Well, it's like yeah, it's kind of already there.
because
Like being.
you had the gear, you had the armors and the stuff like that, which
That's what I'm
gave
saying.
buffs and
Well,
debuffs
you look
and
at where that 2018 God of War and you compare it to the old God of War, they weren't really like that back in the old day. You know,
yeah,
this one
that kind
kind
of
of
worked.
worked.
It's not as heavy RPGs as they
That's
are
what I mean.
now.
Like they were very puzzly, kind of just fighting. It wasn't worrying about
But it's
like.
still puzzly in the 2018. It
But this one became more focused on that whole hunting and
was more
upgrading
story
and
and
being more in depth. So I think they're going to flesh that out more and more when they go.
which I'm think it's gonna be the same as 2018, just bigger and better. I think. Well, I'm just keen to see who Thor is.
Hello,
And
Chris Hemsworth.
no, don't even. If they do it as fucking a fake Hemsworth accent, I'm done. I'll fucking snap the disc. I'm done. Um, you can't. You seen how that worked with the Avengers game? That was so bad. That Thor voice. I feel sorry for the actor who had to fucking voice him.
Trying too hard. Like they wanted to disassociate themselves, but then they tried being the same. It's like you're either trying to disassociate
They all
or
got
be.
the same kind of voices, which is like Tony Stark had that like calm, like fuck you, like I'm the best voice. Like every it was
So
weird. Like
so silly.
still a good game, but it was weird. The voices were just so bad. Mainly Thor. But yeah, Friday for us, the 10th at 6 a.m. Why these weird times? Can you give us where we've all got a good time? Like make it 9 a.m. because then it's a little bit later for them over there. Make it in the late afternoon, like 5 o'clock instead of like 3 or something. 2.
I mean, I guess being that time, like people that got to work Friday, they can like catch it before they start work or something like that.
I'll get up at 9. I'm not get up at 6.
Yeah, but that's you. Other people that work start at like 8.
Yeah,
They can
but
get
so they're
up
gonna
and.
watch that. They're gonna get ready and.
Oh, I mean, when I used to get up early, like for work, I used to get up and watch things like that in the morning and then go to work. So
Yeah, but still, yeah, remember you missed the last one because you
I
forgot
didn't.
about it.
I didn't even know some of these things were happening. I was like, oh
I
fuck.
messaged you like, "Hey, does this happen?" You're like, "What? Oh shit!"
Oh, I didn't realize that was on. Like, fuck me. Suck my
At the same
dick.
time, I think too, because I stayed up all night, just like it's only event, it's only event.
Well, I didn't even know that event was happening when they announced fucking the Halo shit. I didn't even know that was on that day. I was like, what? Otherwise, I would have stayed up so I could watch it. Fucking, or got up that early to watch the fucking Halo reveal. Shit. Because
I
that's the
still
whole
haven't
Halo.
seen it. I don't think
No, same. I still haven't even watched it either.
it's Halo. It's the same as 5 in that it's just going to be the same thing, but different name.
Ah, I'm just so out of the loop.
Microsoft, give us Gear 6. Come on, give us a little tease of Gear 6.
Microsoft, just give us loot baggies.
Loot baggies.
Give us the good stuff.
Give us a loot baggies.
Give us a jumper.
No, they should honestly just drop Halo, Gears, and Forza. Get something new. That's all you've got going for you. No shit.
Oh no, they'll be like, oh, but we have Bethesda now.
Oh, so you got Skyrim 25 or something? Like, you got Skyrim 7, 8, 9, 10,
Fucking
11.
dumb. Fucking dumb.
But Bethesda only make the one game now, or two, technically.
Yeah.
They make, what, Elder Scrolls and Fallout. That's it. That's the one Unreal who are making Doom and shit, and they've stopped Machine Games, I think, from making next Wolfenstein. So
Like, I don't know.
we're not getting Wolfenstein 3, I don't think,
It's dumb.
which would be fuck cool. But I think it's I haven't finished 2. I don't know if it's ended or not. But then there was that one of the played as the daughters, and they're all grown up. Like, what happened to the time? Like they were babies. Now
Yeah.
they're adults. I'm like, where'd
There
the
was
time go?
what happened in between? Exactly. What happened in between?
Oh, like who
Oh,
even writes these? It wouldn't be Machine Games because they wouldn't have made that like it was like that co-op fucking RPG Wolfenstein. That's I tried playing it. I tried it on Game Pass. Paid for an hour and just like nope, uninstall. But that's all I've got.
well, we'll leave it on to
I know you got something
we got the
big.
main event. We'll go on to the main event, I guess.
Yeah, boy.
So it was very interesting because I didn't really. It kind of was in wind socially going around, and different articles were picking it up and stuff, and I kind of saw it. I'm like, I don't feel see it's going to work. And looking at some of the stats, it didn't really make massive impact. And the numbers don't really make sense because I'm looking at the stats. I'm like, I'm positive there's more people watching that than they have, but I don't know. But on the 1st of September, um, people were going doing a day off Twitch protest, like a strike and stuff like that. Which, I mean, I kept streaming and I didn't see any difference of impact for me with streaming. I was still the same. Me personally, it was just another day streaming and nothing changed, nothing happened. Looking at who was live, nothing changed, nothing happened.
Oh, I saw a big drop off. Only like 3 people on.
Oh, did you? Like, when I was on that day that was on, Ninja was on streaming still?
Yeah, he wouldn't get hate rated though.
No, but like, I don't know,
I mean,
this whole
probably
hate
would
raid, so,
actually.
I don't know, so it's very weird. So this whole thing was to stand up against hate raids. I never knew it was such a big deal until the few days coming into this
Yeah, but
apparently
you know how
happening.
many streamers there are? There are probably millions, and
Well,
the
you see all these people talking about it all the time, but then I've never heard of anyone bring up hate raids before, really regularly going, this is a thing, this is an issue, this is an issue. It was just out of
been
nowhere
on for
going,
years. I
well, that's
think.
mean. I think these things happen, but like, then no one really made a big statement saying this is going to happen, this is the thing. It's just gone, oh, we're going to do it this day, and then people, like, why did it take so long for one?
I only
It's going
found
to be a
out
thing.
because it was in my Discord.
But that's what I
But
mean, but
someone,
like, people were like, yeah, we're going to take a day off to protest, but I'm like, is it really going to cause any problems when people are still going to be using the platforms? Like me, I was like, I'm still going to be streaming as a
yeah,
normal basis.
I mean, a
Like,
good thing came out of it though.
was there really a good thing that
Um,
came out of it?
well, yeah, apart from Twitch, Twitch did nothing about it. But Streamlabs and all that, they made a bot where if there's stuff, they get deleted straight up now in chat. Like if someone does a hate raid, they get banned like that from it.
Oh, those things are perfectly fine, but those things that make sense in the general retrospect, not
Yeah,
just
but
hate
Twitch
raids.
hasn't done it yet. Streamlabs did it. Everyone else did it.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch doesn't really have much input I see in the way of bots and stuff
It's
like
their
that.
fucking
Like,
app.
well,
They can just implement that straight up and just go, here we go. It's an automatic thing.
yeah, but like, you know,
Have
see how many
fun.
people use bots. Everyone
It's
uses
just
bots more
Slack.
for everything else than anything else, and that's what I mean. Twitch is going to let them do all the work because people use bots for everything else. So they're like, well, might as well, what's the point of us
But if they
doing
get
it?
it built in, everyone's got it. Just default.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just too weird from I.
Like YouTube, they implemented it. Streamlabs, I don't know if Stream Elements did. I don't know if they've
I mean,
done
that's
it.
good though. But like, that's the thing. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't really
now
realize it was a
a
big
day off
thing.
Twitch from to do it.
But I mean, that's something they would have been developing for a while. That doesn't just happen overnight. Like, they would have been preparing to release it on that day or something, most probably, or work on it. Like, they've been working on it for a while because you can't just be like, oh, we've done this now. Like, it's something you got to put in the
Of
code.
course you can. Stuff like that. That's their job. They just make shit like that. Like
So
probably like
yeah, it's
that.
still in the coding's not just magical sometimes.
It is for them.
But
They pump that out quick.
that's what I mean. They could have had it ready to drop. I don't know. I didn't. It's just weird. I mean, for me, yeah, okay. People go because primarily it's directed racial at. It was very a lot of racial.
Yeah, well, people
And
end with stream
LGBT.
because of it and shit. Like they get people end stream for weeks sometimes
And that's
because they
that's a big thing
because
I'm
it
going
was
to
a
get into.
constant thing. People got it multiple times from the same person.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there's
it's like,
the yeah, but there's a lot. It's a lot I'll try and get into. So, with this happening at the same time, there'll be a whole circle around here. I'll come back to it. So that happened on the first. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people took time off. A lot of people didn't. Me, I was like, I don't know what. Like, it's. I'm like, it's not going to really matter if I'm on there or not because I'm just I'm not going to have an impact, so it doesn't really matter because it definitely works for people that are bigger streamers. Makes sense to make an impact because they're a bigger streamer. For me, I that doesn't really get views. It was for me like, well, what's the difference? Like it's me having a day off is me just having a day off. Like it's not
yeah,
going to cause
that was my
impact.
day off because it was
It
Wednesday.
was your day off, yeah. So I streamed anyway through Wednesday, and it was kind of funny because seeing Ninja on, which was ironic enough, with the way his attitude can be sometimes. But I
Most
mean,
times.
I have seen hate raid. Like I have had. I just see it as trolls, and I kind of get the understanding of hate raids where it's
Like
like,
there's trolls and there's hate, like people getting like racist remarks and shit. Like,
well, it depends on what they do at the times, and I can understand. I can get the aspect of where what a hate raid is like. They come in a swarm, they raid the channel, everyone comes in and views it, and then they just try and drop shit.
yeah,
And I've had people. They came in one time, like I was having a good time. They're like, "Oh, fatty, he's fat," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fat." And I'm like, "Look at my belly," and I just like, "Well, I'll rub it into your face." Like, if you're gonna try and stir shit, like,
yeah.
I'll take the hits and I'll be like, whatever, like I've said before. Like, I've had people come in and try and be all smarts about it. I'm like, "Oh, look at
But
me!
for
Oh,
us,
you're
it's
so
usually
fat,"
like one or two people, which were just like, yeah, you're getting banned. But
Well, that's exactly it. Like, I've one time I've been
for
like I
these
said,
other people, it's like a whole fucking like 100 people just going
yeah.
off.
Well, see,
And then it's like end.
when I had my hate, well, I guess there's an aspect of a hate raid. Now that I know what the term is for it, I just thought it was just a bunch of trolls coming in because I thought it was just normal raid.
Yeah,
But I
trolls
had
you
it
can
was
handle.
yeah. Well, they're still in the same spec. They're still trolls are still in the same spec of a hate raid. When it's
Yeah, but
bigger
trolls
number,
know when to leave.
no, no, they don't. They don't. Not
They
all
do
the
when
trolls.
you just don't acknowledge they're there and they just go bye.
That's the thing too. But that's the problem with a lot of
Or
these hate
unless you're
raids
in
is
my chat and I
because
had Hindle going off on someone.
yeah, but like I said, I had like a few of them come through because at least 10 people come through on the. It was only a small hate raid, and I had at least 10 come through, and they're all commenting like wild in the chat, and I was like surprised that my chat was lit, and I was like, sweet, I've got a lit chat. I don't care what they're saying, I've got a lit chat. It's like they can try and say whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't bother me. Like I'm like whatever. Like I'll take it as what it is. It's just them saying words. And like I said to you like before, and I've said to many people, it's like when people come through in the chat, I'm just like, oh look at you, and I just told them like look at them. I was like, come on then, fuck me in the ass, like something, make smart ass remarks to them. They're like, oh, okay, we can't really do anything because this dude knows how to handle it. And that's what like I was gonna come back around to being like, it's a sense of being on a platform like this. You're pushing yourself out to the people. You're basically putting yourself on the sense of you're putting yourself on a pedestal.
Yeah,
You're
but these bots that they made should have been out years ago.
well, but that's what gets me. It's
So
like
it
I can
couldn't have
understand.
happened in the first place.
No, and I can understand. That's the thing I can understand. Like people get like you're saying about Twitch should on it. Well, then why are these people that had these bots? If these people know that these things been happening for ages, why in Stream Elements or whatever did they do this bot earlier?
As I mean, why didn't they make these years ago
Why
when
exactly?
they
Like
first
if they
started?
know it's been a thing, why do it now? Why release it now? That this has
I had
happened.
no
Oh, we
idea
better
they were a
release it.
thing
Like
until Jem posted in my Discord. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
but
Jem
even
posted
then,
about it. I
I just thought it was a
saw.
day off Twitch. I had no idea about hate raids. I'm
Yeah,
like,
well, because
oh,
it reminded me again, refreshed me the other day when it came up was like, uh,
I
Soul
haven't heard of a
Solar.
hate raid until this week.
Solar brought it up because she was talking to Twoodles about it, and they were saying that they're going to take the
Poodles.
day off. And I was like,
What
oh,
names?
okay. Like, and I can understand that they're bigger streamers and they're females, so they're going
Mm.
to get the discrimination from people. But it's like, it depends on how you see it. Are you going to take it to? And that's why, like, I can see a lot of people, and that's where the problem comes along to a point. Is yeah, you get hate rated. You say you have like these hundreds of
But not
people.
everyone can handle a troll, though.
But
That's the
that's what
thing.
I'm getting at. Like that's what I'm getting at. If you're going to be putting yourself on the spotlight on a pedestal, you got to learn to be able to take the hits. If you're going to be putting yourself out there in the spotlight, you need to be able to take the good and the bad. You look at actors. Like look at how many times people like stabbed away at Johnny Depp with all the shit was going. He's abusing this chick, and then it's like, oh no, he's not. She was actually abusing him. Like people drag people to the dirt, but you look at them,
Yeah,
they
he
deal with
probably
it.
read nothing about it though at
Oh,
all.
there's a lot of stuff people go, but like you know what I mean. That same sense though,
He,
like
he probably saw none of it. He probably just kept off everything.
oh, he chose to avoid it because he knew people were saying stuff about him, like
Yeah.
so he didn't know exactly. But you know what I mean? The
Well,
same
he
sense.
knew it was all fake anyway, so he had nothing to worry about.
No,
But
it
still,
was just
being
people.
called names and
Yeah, And that's the same sense though. Like it's the same kind of degree. You're someone of notoriety. Like you see, like Jacksepticeye had to deal with it, and I can say his was a little bit worse with a similar situation that he dealt with the trolls, where they were basically
Mm.
picking on him because his dad had passed away. Which that's just
Mm.
lowball fucking disgusting in general. But like he basically ignored it. It was a bit hard, but like the best thing for him was to I'm gonna step away and just come back, and it died off. Like he's just gone, okay,
Yeah.
I'm feeling better over it now. I've gone past it. I'll
That's
deal
what you
with
gotta-
it.
you just got to ignore them, and if they don't go away, then you just take action.
And
Like,
that's exactly it. Like, and some of these people like making this like, yeah, I can understand you're trying to deal against Twitch. Like, it's getting a grey area for me. Like, I know, like, it's a bit weird. Like, I support the LGBT community. Like, I'm like before like the whole bi thing. Um, and it's just like it's understandable, but like it's. I guess it's also coming to the point where we come back to the whole PC side of things, where the whole not necessarily snowflakes, but it's kind of also getting to the point where what happened to
say
the
that
thing
word on
where
here. Jesus, you
hey.
trigger some people. You trigger people saying that word.
Oh, but that's what I mean though. Like, what happened to the point? Why are people getting to the point of just
I got told off for saying that word.
snowflake?
Yeah.
But it's
I was
like,
like,
but
don't
that's
use that word. You gotta. You I'm like if the shoe fits,
that's what I'm getting at. Like,
if the shoe fits.
why put yourself on a pedestal spotlight to like? I know you, it's for you. You want to enjoy yourself, you entertain. But like, if you, but like, you can do that just by playing games. But if you want to put yourself out there and be an entertainer, you need it. Like, it's like
You
comedians
have
as
to
well,
take the
hecklers.
trolls.
Like that's like people doing stand up.
It depends how you
Then can
handle
you
it.
take the hecklers? You got to learn, and I think it's a wake. It needs to also be a sense of it. Okay, yeah, it shouldn't be happening. Like I'm not saying it should happen. It shouldn't be
Mm.
happening. But these people are disgusting. I don't know why they think it's entertaining, especially when there's hundreds of them going around
I
being
mean,
like,
we've trolled people before, but
and
not
there's not like
we did it for
being
fun. Like,
disgusting, not being like there's a difference of being a basic troll, and then there's a sense of being straight up disgusting, saying like I'm gonna rape you, I'm gonna fucking
yeah,
murder you, or you're fucking disgusting, or say racist slurs, or say anything that's like there's a big balance. Like I can understand there is a big difference,
ours is just
but
joking. Like ours is just like, ah,
like that's people
fuck
saying
you or
stuff. But
something.
at the same
Like,
time, is when you have these
mm,
people saying these things to you, you look at it and go, good for you. So and like they're just words. Like if you're finding them that they're hitting you hard that much, are you in the
just
right?
just take a week off or so.
Take the
Like,
hit
just take
or have
time.
yourself a breather and come back. Or otherwise, if it's going to keep happening and you're still going to feel affected by it, maybe you're not in the right industry.
Mm.
Like I can understand you want to stream and you want to be, but you got to understand you got to balance the community. Unless you're going to have, again, like okay, you start growing the community, you start getting your mods, and your mods start banning them and stuff like that. Then you've got a flowing community. But if you're still going to be able to control, like feel like you can take that, then
You
you
gotta be
need
able to
to
moderate yourself as well. Like,
like moderate yourself. Like ban the users that are doing the stuff. Have mods in the chat, ban them and stuff. But like I can understand if there's gonna be a hate rate that comes through and it's gonna still burn the chat, then you just ignore it. Then you just go, okay,
I mean,
mute
you can't
chat.
really ban 100 people because
No,
the chat's just going berserk.
but
Like,
what you end up doing if it's gonna be that point where you get overwhelmed and you want to keep going, then just go, okay, slow, like mute the chat. Just turn the chat off altogether, or
on
unfortunately
emojis or
turn
something.
follow chat on or something, or just be like, sorry, at this point I'm just gonna turn follow chat on or subscriber chat on. So then it cuts everyone out. Unfortunately, it cuts everyone out, but then you can keep moving along with what you're doing and just like Twitch isn't going to stop. Be like, oh, this is happening. Like they
No.
can't, they can't control. Like you see what they like how long it took to delete the bots again. Like how long it got to point, and it was like those couple of months back where
Yeah,
they
but at
deleted like
least
the
now there's
7.5
bots
million.
made that you just got to enable and they take out the hate stuff.
No, no. Well, there's that, but
Try and
I'm
they
saying like in
modify it
general for
now.
Twitch,
But
like look how long it took them to
yeah,
delete all those fake viewer accounts. So that 7 million viewer bots.
yeah, that's a lot they had to go through though, like to try and specify which
That's what
is
I
a
mean.
bot, which is a person.
And that's what the gray area is. If Twitch themselves made a bot, like that's a lot of work. Then if anything went wrong, it's on them. That's why sometimes too it's hard to find that fine line because if they make these things to pick up certain algorithms, you got to know you got to fine tune it. And I guess if anything goes wrong, then it's on Twitch's end. So if it's third party, then they don't have to take any fault if anything goes wrong. So if people get banned by accident or bots are being deleted because certain like you got to like there was already keywords like you already could put in Twitch keywords that would stop messages from coming through, so it'd ban these things from happening. They'd
Yeah, but then they can also modify the word so it
but
comes
then
through. Then it's like,
but that's what I mean. So there's some Twitch has been trying to mandate it, but like where do you draw the line where it's being too governed? Because then you get to the point where it's being over policed, and then it becomes not fun for anyone because everything's being policed, and then you don't know how do you type
Yep.
something without anyone being like that time when I came to that dude's like this dude was like came to my chat being like, oh, follow me, and I went
I
straight to his chat, and then people in his chat muted me, and I was just like, hey, what's going on, what's happening, and then they muted my like these kids muted me and stuff, and they came to me to troll me. I'm like, do you fucking make sense? Like, first you want me to come to your stream and check you out, I come to your stream and then your community and your mods mute me for no reason. I'm just like, hey, what's up, and then like I'm like, what, like. It's like that makes sense. Like then, what happens if you have these bots that start doing that? Just people come by and accidentally start banning people and muting people. Like, where's the who takes fault then? Who's to blame if things start accidentally being
people really,
banned?
because
You know.
you shouldn't be making yourself look like a fucking bot or a troll or
But that's what I'm saying. Like, where does it know? Like, where does it know if you're a troll or a bot? Like, you could be someone that's a troll and it knows. Like,
definitely things they say like bots are usually top putting in links
yeah.
and
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it comes to the grey area when it's being fine tuned and
or they're being
it's.
overly not overly racist, but being racist
But like
or
that's what I want to know. What do these like Streamlab bot
um
do? Do we know what the Streamlab lab or Stream11's
no.
bot
Oh,
does?
I just know
No idea.
they've got. I just know there's a Streamlabs one. So
Because like I said, I already know Twitch bans keywords. So if there's certain keywords you put in, it will straight up. If someone tries
yeah.
typing it, their message doesn't get sent. It just cuts them off altogether. So they can't say
This
anything.
this bot had a list of things like probably 9 things on there.
That's what I mean. So if there's a massive list of stuff that it does, then how does it know the difference? I mean, you hope it knows the difference.
Oh,
But what if
Streamlabs
someone?
knows what they're doing.
But like that's what I mean. I guess you got to be very fine tuned because, like I said, someone could just come in and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And there's a certain word that looks like another word,
I'll
and
Google, you
it
keep
triggers it
going,
out.
and
So
I'll see what it is.
it is. I know it's something that's taken a long time to get to, but it is. It just these things just. I have these extra thoughts of things that just run through, and I'm just like, okay, it's understandable. But like I said, that people, it's only the bigger streamers that it really makes an impact on for viewership because it didn't really drop. It dropped kind of a fair bit. So I think I was looking at a chart for that day. So on average, it's about just over 200,000 viewers, I think, which is a bit weird because I thought there would be more than that. But it dropped. But looking at the chart, I think for that day, it dropped by 50,000 viewers.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So Twitch are launching updates to improve and combat the hate raids and stuff. So
so maybe they'll know the channels when they
they're
come through
doing it
the
now,
advanced
though. Like,
channels.
why now?
Yeah,
After
that's what I mean. Like, why did it have to?
they got boycotted, and they're like, "Oh, we better do something, otherwise they'll do it again and
Like,
again and
but that's what I mean.
again."
Like they said, thousands of people boycotted Twitch, but when you've got the platform too that's around the world at different time zones, how do you make the big impact when you know what time to not be on to actually make the impact? Like that's what the hard problem is with these things too, is and you got a lot of these streamers jumping on that are still going to be on. Like it is very interesting. Like how do you mandate a protest? Like I feel like a protest, if they wanted to really make an impact, it would have to be like we're going to have a week off Twitch, and if everyone took a week off Twitch, that would be the real like hit. I think hit.
Apparently, they've already started an update that's rolled out, so it's
Yep.
already been in effect. Which it says here, Twitch initially noted that it was able to identify an area where the platform's proactive filters were vulnerable to abuse. An update has already been rolled out that will better detect hate speech in streamers' chats. So
So it does it
that's a
automatically. So
start.
it's starting to get to the point where you don't even have to key in your own keywords. It's starting. It's going to key detect it. So if someone says the N word, I'm assuming, or called someone
Yeah.
a C, and or we've said the word cunt before. So if someone calls someone cunt in the chat,
Oh
or
shit. And there's another couple of sentences, but additionally, the developers are working on finally launching channel level ban evasion detection and account verification improvements at the same point later this year.
see, that's going to be very skeptical. So you'd hope that no one jokingly comes in the chat like as a friend and be like, without realizing, going, "Hey mate, how the fuck you been?"
Between probably, yeah, but no one
But-
really does that. To be fair, no one really does it.
But I mean, what's the chance of, say, for example, like I said before, the C word. C word is a banned word for use because like a racial slur comes with no, not racial, a sexual
I say
slur.
it in my chat. Look, people say it in my chat.
That's what I'm saying. What if someone comes by and they've updated the thing and someone's like, "What's up? What's up, cunt?" And then it's like, "Oh, channel deleted." It's like, "Oh shit!" Like how
Goes
would
by
you?
what you banned on there or something. I don't know.
Like that's what I mean. Is it gonna? If but that's saying if
They're
they
doing
do these.
some
That's what I'm
things.
saying. If these things are automated, controlled,
Yeah, but they can tweak them. So
like it would have to be on user end to turn these things on. I'd hope on user's end so they can choose if they want to have these settings on or not. Because if it's and then things start getting accidentally deleted, which things have happened in the past and it's been caused problems.
yeah, that was the
Otherwise-
main thing. People have been using different fonts to get around it. Like, yeah, you got the E's that look weird.
But if people want to go for that and put in these different weird fonts, then it's like good luck to you. Like, Okay, did you really want to waste your time doing that? Like, that's your own time you're wasting. Like, if you want to come
I
by
don't
and
know.
just like,
Why now? Like, I should have been there from the start of
it
Twitch
should have
back
been
in what 10 years ago. Like, Jesus.
general information safety, or even at least like a year after being in, because Twitch has been for a long time. But it is very interesting. But it's interesting that people decide
So I
to
knew
take
about
part.
hate rage this whole time, and they just did nothing until everyone took a day off. Or a lot of people just boycotted, and it's like, yeah, we're not putting up with it.
Well, there was even a head start beforehand because I think it was mentioned. Like I heard about, I think it was a week before it came to that date that the
Mm.
day of Twitch was going to happen. So they even had that head start. So who knows what they would have done? They would have had a head start to already start working on stuff. It is mind boggling. It is interesting because I've never really seen it personally. I've viewed a few people, but I've never really been there in the right
You know,
time
I've
and
heard of
seen it
people
happen.
leaving stream and that just ending because of a raid, like a bad one, but
Mm.
I think it was that common.
But like that's what I mean. I didn't. That's the same thing for me. Like I didn't know it was that common of a thing. I've never really heard of anyone it happening to anyone. Like I've never
Yeah,
heard.
we know fuck all people on Twitch. Like we only know probably like 1% of people on there.
It's like it's very small, but it may be a big thing in America even. Like that could be where it's coming from. It's like it's because a lot of things are big in America. Like maybe it's the America demographic, and we're just trying to help support on from Australian perspective. Like maybe that's why people in Australia are trying to help and support, but it's bigger in America. Like because but then it comes down to it. If you look at it, most time when these people are like this stuff on Twitch, how many of these people are most probably Australian? Not many. Usually all these people are dickheads. Are fucking American. Unfortunately, Americans are fuckheads, and they think it's. But they're the ones that always seem to be the type to be
At least you said
mobbed.
it.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it like that. Okay, they're just idiots, but
No, but like when you look at these, a lot of these hate mobs and stuff. What other culture, racials do you see these doing these big hate mobs? You don't. You don't
no. I
see
mean,
Australians go around doing these
England
massive hate
sometimes, but that's
mobs.
about it.
England's a very small demographic. How many of these big? There's not many English
Mm.
people on Twitch, and I don't see them going like. Americans, on the other hand, unfortunately, I'm putting you in that corner, but like,
Not corner, around
but like
fucking
a
room.
But like a lot of people, even Americans, will agree to it as well. I reckon. I believe. Like
Yeah.
they'll believe there's a lot of them that
I
they
reckon
will.
if we ask our friends in Discord, they'll be like, yeah,
Yeah, like they're easy enough to create mobs. The Americans like
they believe
easy.
anything you say to
They'll
them.
rally a mob and they'll cause it, and that's why I feel like. And then you'll get a few Aussies, like a lot of the kids, will be like, "Oh yeah, might as well join these." And they, of course, you get a few. Like it's not saying that it's just in America there it exists, but you'll find
I haven't all
majority.
around the world, but it
It's
starts.
majority is America. Majority. It's Cincta.
What are you
Um,
trying to do?
I don't know. And after that, I was like,
Sorry, you're like
Cincta.
sphincter.
Sphincter.
I don't want went upside down. Like that's weird.
But like I said, a lot of the majorities always seem to be very American, and it seems to be like horde mentality, and of course other people come in. Like I said, not excluding that it's not anywhere else, but I feel majority horde is always American.
Hmm.
American demographic. Then you get everyone else jumps on as well, and it just becomes a big swarm. And I can understand where in like being, but like definitely Americans are very racial as well. That's a big thing
Well,
as well.
same as here.
Like they're still here, but like again, because it's bigger places, majority ends up being American
Yeah,
because it's bigger. As a whole, like it's unfortunately
happens
it's one of those
everywhere,
things. It
but
happens everywhere.
it's mainly talked about in the US, same as a lot of
Mm.
things, because they're very outspoken.
Yes, yes.
Unfortunately, they're very outspoken
So, and that's what I mean. I can understand. So,
about everything.
so it is very
Ooh,
interesting.
hiccups.
Oh, but at the same time, I was going to go to, but come back to it. So at the same time when that actually happened, Tim the Tapman decided to leave Twitch and convert
Mm.
over to YouTube. Also that left, Dr. Lupo left, and apparently Valkyrie left as well. So they've all
Yep.
left Twitch and they moved to YouTube. Valkyrie kind of makes sense. I've never really looked at Dr. Lupo, so I don't know what their story is, but I guess they kind of must work with, like, played with Tim the Tapman. I think they're in this from relations. They might have
Mm.
similar degree separation of Kevin Bacon or whatever. Um, but Valkyrie makes sense because
Just like Kevin Bacon.
the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Good, take it.
But like I said, Valkyrie makes sense because I've seen a lot lately. for a while now, she's been playing with a lot of YouTubers, and for them, it's easier for them to stream on YouTube than Twitch or anything. Like some of them still stream to Twitch and stuff like that, but it is easier for a lot of people. If you are a service on YouTube, it is easier just to keep staying to that platform and
Yeah.
stream to that platform as well. It just works easier, and I think maybe that's maybe one of the things is because she works with a lot of people on YouTube. It's easy just to keep content there and might as well stream on there as well. So it makes sense for why Valkyrie will be working on that platform for one, and leaving Twitch but Twitch at the same time is still kind of is very saturated. It's one of the main platforms. YouTube is starting to become or is basically more convenient. Because
That's
everyone's got
starting to get
YouTube.
the same way though now. Like there's a lot of people on YouTube that are just like, oh,
And that's crazy though too. But you got all these people like these bigger streamers that are of course doing right because they're getting these deals as well. There's these deals that they're getting that they can sign up for
yeah.
contracts and stuff. It's like, well, it kind of makes sense when you're getting contracts. When you're like us, we're just like, well,
But
what
then
do you
you
want to
kind
stream
of
on?
just go for the money.
And there's a lot of them doing that. It's just like,
Like, where's the loyalty at?
it's like for me, it comes down to what I feel comfortable streaming on, what I use. Like that's why I was with Mixer, and then I was Twitch, and then I went to Mixer because it was just easier and convenient because it's what being used. Like, oh yeah, then I came back to Twitch.
Well,
No,
I've
what?
already known Twitch really. Like I was on Mixer for a little bit.
Well, see, I joined with that when it was Beam before it actually became Mixer. Because Twitch was on the consoles and they embedded Beam into the system, and I used that, and then they changed to Mixer, and then yeah, they shut down Mixer,
And they didn't support it, and then they
dug it in the
sold it.
hole. Um, but
I haven't heard nothing on Facebook gaming in a year. Like that
it's
just died.
it's just it's hard to push because it's there, but it's
It's
so far
Facebook
off
because
in a
no
different
one's have
category.
Facebook to watch on Facebook. Like
Well, I mean, it's just so tabbed category. It's off in the side corner. See, when it's live, like when you're live streaming to YouTube, like it just comes up on your channel like anything else.
same as Twitch. Like
Like
people
it's
know
there.
you're on.
So people can come watch your normal videos on your YouTube channel, and they're like, "Oh, here's a live tab." Like it's
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's pushed. It's easy to find. Like it's cataloged. So yeah, it's interesting. But like,
So you're not locked into a contract unless you're a big streamer.
because they actually sign actual written contracts for money, they get actually paid, not just from like they're actually getting an actual paid contract by that platform.
Although you do it for Twitch and that as well, but there you've got affiliate, and then you're owned by Twitch when you get affiliate. Like you shouldn't take affiliate. We did stupidly
Oh, it's not a bad thing. I mean, at
because
least
we can't stream on Twitch because I mean on YouTube because we're affiliated with
like
Twitch.
I don't really have an issue with
They
that.
can they can drop your affiliate because of that if you stream on.
Yeah, I can,
They can just ban you, just kick you
but
off
at the same
Twitch.
time though, like
Which
at least like see that's the thing though too. With the difference with that is like okay, I signed the agreement. I'm assigned to Twitch. Like I can still make revenue if I was on YouTube and I was trying to stream at like a low level. I can't make anything from YouTube. You know, if you were to look at that
you can
retrospect,
do
like
super chats and shit like that, right?
it's a little bit different. There's no same aspect. Like it's not about the money, but like if you were looking at the retrospect, like they're the base minimal differences. If you're on streaming on
Oh
YouTube,
yeah.
you're just doing it straight for base nothing. There's no because there's no contracts, no signing up. There's no nothing like that. Like that's the difference that Twitch offers as being a base
Unless
affiliate.
you're owned by YouTube, like
You can
these
earn
big,
revenue from ads and stuff like that. Like
it's not worth it.
no,
Ads are not worth it.
they're
You
very
get
minimum.
1 cent.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. Though, like you can actually just because you're affiliate, you can actually bank.
I mean, it's only
bankable.
worth it when you're pulling in thousands of people at a stream and they got an ad. Like that's the only reason. Or to counter that, they sub and you get like how much is that? Like a lot times more, like $1,000, a thousand times more effective than a fucking ad.
Yeah, but so like that's the thing too.
Crazy.
So if you're base minimum and you're looking at that retrospect, Twitch is sense better. But if you're just to just stream just for the hell of it, use whatever the hell you want. Like I mean, I'm streaming just for the hell of it, but it's nice having that little bit of income on the side. Like it's very
Yeah.
minimal, if not there. But like it's kind of feels a bit more rewarding when you're.
It still goes into your stream though. Like it goes
Goes
to
back into
a game you'll play or
Exactly.
a thing you'll upgrade, like a mic, a headset, a
It just feels
keyboard.
rewarding, yeah. It just feels rewarding when I get to play if something. If I get a little money from it, it's like, oh, this is a little bit like rewarding. It's like it feels more rewarding than if you were to do those whole like download this app and then play this game and do these challenges and we'll reward you with so many points which you can redeem for a gift card. You know, those type of app things. It's like they do work, but there's a lot more work you got to put into it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They get you. It's all very scammy. Like,
Exactly. But People
But
do them.
I'm coming back to the streamers. So Tim the Tatman makes sense why he left Twitch because he's good friends with Doctor Disrespect, and that makes sense. And one of the biggest issues, which is dodgy, but it kind of is really weird because Twitch threw Doctor Disrespect under the bus and is solidated. You basically can't really mention his name on Twitch. You're not supposed to mention his name on Twitch for one, so no one can mention his name. Otherwise, you could easily be banned.
Hence why he probably left. He could be
Well,
friends with him
for Tim
and
the
play
Tatman,
games and
well, that's one of the things in because of the contract, because Tim Tatman being the streamer level he's at, being a contracted partner Twitch streamer, um, basically he didn't matter whatever it was, he was not allowed to. Well, if he was streaming, he was not allowed to play with Doctor Disrespect.
that's that's
Yep.
just wrong though. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So even though like if his name like if you couldn't hear like if you heard it, if his audio if like they're on voice chat and voice chat was to having to come through like this is like they went through this at one point. I can't remember who which it was, if it was Doctor Disrespect that brought up or if it was Tim the Tatman in the chat, but basically what it was, if they were playing a game together and his audio came through, Tim the Tatman could be banned. If his name was shown up on the screen, like being in the game listing of players played, he could be banned. Like things like that, like all that kind of things, because being that Doctor Disrespect was a banned player from the platform for whatever was, which we're going to find out once this court case goes through.
I mean,
What actually
depends what it
was.
is though.
Oh, he's human though, so it's something that they've done dirty, that they've done illegal, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get these guys on this thing. Like, there's something that I mean, he was a bit like playing himself around, but you do that as a businessman. You be like those deals.
Yeah.
Like that deal he played wasn't that bad of a play. Like that's a smart play, but they're like, oh, these guys are offering me something, here. Do you what are you going to offer me? And then Mixer shut down. Like you play those cards. Like that makes sense as a business play. You make those cards. You go, hey, if these guys are, these guys are offering me that, what can you do to persuade me to stay with you guys? Not being like, oh, we can offer you this, and the Mixer shut down. Oh no, we're not going to sign with you now. Like
Yeah.
he was playing a smart move. Like that's what any business person does. That's trying to make that he's actually making his actual job. That's a smart play. Like being like, what can you offer me to keep me at, even though they're going to keep him either way. He just wanted to boost up his contract, which I don't blame him for trying that. But then
I mean, it's not a legal.
No.
People do it all the time, no matter where they work.
Exactly, and it was just bad that they removed him for part of that. But there was other stuff too.
It wouldn't be because of that. 'Cause that happened way before this.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, that was part of it.
Over a year ago. Like Jesus.
But yeah, that's what started him not being on the platform. But then he tried other stuff. But
Ninja did the same thing, didn't he? And then he went.
well, he actually went to Mixer, and then
Didn't Shroud joke about it too? Like, come on.
well, Shroud was on Mixer, and then he went back to Twitch. Now I think Shroud's somewhere else. I think he might be for YouTube now. I don't know. Or is Shroud still on Twitch? No, I think Shroud's looking at going to YouTube. I think too.
That doesn't make sense for him,
Or is
really.
it Twitch? I can't remember. I can't remember now. Or someone else I'm thinking of. I can't remember. But yeah, so it makes sense. But it makes
I don't
sense
really
though for
give
Tim
a
the
shit,
Tatman
no
either
matter
way.
what
Like it
Twitch
makes
is,
sense
who's doing what.
because him and Doctor Disrespect are great friends, and it makes sense that he's just like, nah, what are you doing? Like,
Every big one just leave Twitch so we can take over.
I mean, it's gonna get. I feel like it could get to the point, but I feel there's still a lot of bigger people that I reckon we'll see. If those people leave, we'll see all those other bigger people that we weren't being pushed at move up on the
Yeah, but
roster.
then we'll go up.
So it is interesting, the whole aspect. I mean, do what you want to do. Stream on what platform you want to stream on. Like I said, Tim the Tatman I can understand because Twitch was holding ridiculous rules on him for
Yeah.
wanting to play with, like being able to play with a
So,
friend.
so,
of his. Like,
so if I mentioned Dr. Disrespect on Twitch, I could possibly just don't exist on Twitch.
you could theoretically, it could happen.
I think I've mentioned him before. Though.
That's the way they were putting it at, but I think it was more of just.
I
I think
they can't do that.
I
Like,
think
you can sue them for that.
No.
Like Jesus
I
Christ.
think it's more of a thing at contracted like partners, like high end streamers. I think that's where the issue is really lying at. Is something in their contract for high.
But I don't want to
streamers
say it just in case.
Yeah. So
If I lose Twitch, I'm just done.
but that was something that happened. So it was kind of funny, and there was another thing that came up as well recently with Doctor Disrespect. It was I saw pop up. It was to do with Joe Rogan. I don't know if you saw it. But while it was a little while back, Joe Rogan made a stab at Doctor. Must have been like a year or two ago. Joe Rogan made a stab at him.
COVID.
Joe Rogan made a stab.
He did.
Yeah, I heard about that. Joe Rogan made a stab at like Doctor Respect for being a streamer, like just he was
Mm.
basically making a stab at streamers in general, but he mainly took a stab at Doctor Disrespect because I
What
guess he
he
was
does
one.
the exact same thing just on Spotify.
Well, that was the thing. Like well, it's not that. There was more of he took a stab. This must have been a while back. Like I said, it was like a year or two ago. He made a stab at Doctor Disrespect in general because I guess he was more of a name to put out there. So he made a stab going, something about playing streaming games and stuff like that, and like making money or whatever it was or something. I don't know. It was the most weird remark. He was like, why would why would you do that? Like I don't know, it was just like a lowball remark. It was just like wow. Like I was like okay, and then
And
and then
podcasts and pretty much the same
yeah,
fucking
it's like the same
thing.
same sense. And that was the thing. And it was funny because it came to the point because he made something about money and playing for money or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, it was just a very weird dumb remark. But like, and then it came around like it must have been recently. Joe Rogan wanted to get Doctor Disrespect on his podcast. It's just like, why would you like years earlier bag out Doctor
He
Disrespect
wouldn't
and
even
then
know about it though. Probably doesn't even know that he even said it.
who?
Doctor
Oh
Disrespect.
no
Probably
no
has
he
no
did.
idea that he
No
even.
no he
Oh, did
did.
he?
Yeah, because he made a smart ass remark back. He goes, "Well, if you're gonna have me on, what are you gonna pay me?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he made basically a payment remark back. It's like, well, if you're gonna have me on and you're gonna have this, what are you gonna pay me for being, kind of like a
I
remark
know what
back
that
to
was a
it.
reference to. I thought he just said it.
Yeah, no, yeah. So it was the whole thing. Yeah, so
Because I remember him saying that on a stream at some
yeah, it
point.
was to do with Joe Rogan because he mentioned the thing about Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan wanted him to come on to have him on the on his podcast.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Jesus,
That's been circulating again, that footage. Yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, it's kind of funny that's like Joe Rogan makes a stab at someone, and then later on he goes, "Oh, I want to get him on my podcast," and it's like, why would I come on
I
your
mean, he
podcast
would
if
go
you?
on there if he got paid enough.
Well, that's exactly who was making the remark back at him, being a smartass about it. But it's funny you see him. There was that another one you see. Doctor Respect was on H3 podcast at one point, and man, he's fucking tall. He's fucking
Yeah.
giant. It was funny when you see him get up, and it was like out of character though, because there was another one. It was a couple. I think it was like last month. I might have seen it, but he was on the podcast, and it's like on the whole scene because the scene's been like stuff from the podcast. But you see him there talking stuff, and he gets up and he takes his wig off and everything like that. And he's like, because he's in character, then he gets out of character.
No, his moustache was real, isn't it?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
moustache is real, but yeah, he had the whole wig and headset stuff. He's like, all right,
He
take
looks
that off.
so just normal when
So
he's at
average,
the wing and
yeah.
shit.
He's just so average, like dad style, basic dad, like nothing to
Just
it.
like a little short fucking buzz cut and
Yeah, but he's like freaking
crazy.
like, over 6 feet tall. I think he is.
He's like near seven, I think. Like
Yeah,
near
he's
seven,
pretty tall. I was like,
six, six,
damn,
7.
it's crazy. But yeah, so there's a lot of that going on with the Twitch stuff. So all this Twitch stuff is happening, and people are apparently a lot of people are jumping off Twitch at the moment with everything going on with the hate raids. I think people are having enough. But like I said, coming back to it, at the same sense, like if you, like I said again, if you're gonna put yourself in the spotlight, you gotta be prepared to take the hate.
Can't handle the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
Like I've been surprised, even though we've been lowballing. Like I've been in the past on YouTube, lowballing stuff, and I've had people come by and troll and stuff in comments and stuff. And I mean, I guess like I've left them on
It's
to try
usually
and
just words. Words don't do anything.
yeah, it's like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like,
I mean, unless it's probably racist stuff and that. Like,
but at
just,
the same time, like, are you gonna like really let it? It's just words. Like, are you gonna really let it affect you? Like, are
if
you
they're
really
constantly putting in racist remarks, that's not good.
well, I mean, where does it get to the point where it's said that much that it's just become white noise? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
where do you draw the line where it's that people are saying these things that much, where you're just
Well,
like,
straight up, just cut it out.
just like,
Ban
uh,
them straight up.
well, this is exactly you ban them straight up. But like, but you in general as a person, where do you draw, where you get to the point where it's been said that much at you, you're just like you got to get to a point where if it's going to keep affecting you, like, I've had. Like I've grown up being bullied and stuff like that. I've gotten to the point where it's like,
Well, you said before, like a celebrity, like an actor, and that they put up with it for their whole fucking career.
yeah, and they just go, oh, it's what it is. Like I said, I've been bullied through school, and I've been said many names under the sun for all kinds of things, and it's just like, okay, like, say it, like, go for it, like,
It's only
it's
a
just
fucking
words,
word.
it's a difference. Like if someone's gonna
Are
like,
they physically hitting you, calling you that, like physically fucking smacking you or
holding
something?
you and
Like,
going, you're fucking this, you're fucking, like that's a different story because someone's actually physically hurting you. It's more the physical side of things, but they're adding words
well,
to
that's
it.
physical and emotional. That would be
Yeah,
like.
but if it's like words, like I can understand words being partly emotionally attached, but you're putting yourself in the sense, and that's where they're getting off it as well, is because you start breaking down, or you're getting, then they go, okay, we're digging it in, like it's working for
Anyway,
them,
just
like they're
take
getting the
take all
high,
the time you need off the platform. Like you don't have
like
to.
exactly. You take your breaks, and if you
Don't let
keep,
other people ruin your enjoyment.
like I said, and but that's the thing, like I don't know who these people, like I feel like if these are. Like that's the thing, that's what gets me though too. Like, and it's we're getting on the limit here, but I just wanted to think. It just makes me think like, if you're getting these big people, are you a big streamer or are you a little streamer? Like that's what I want to know. If you're a little
I think it's
streamer,
everyone.
like for me, in the retrospect of seeing things, yeah, okay, I'm a little streamer. You know, let's say someone you're under, let's say you're someone in the under 500 mark. 500 follower, like I'm just trying to categorize these things here. So if you're really under the 500 follower mark, you had a, if this one like a general actual official, like, or not official, but let's just say that's the actual definition of what a hate raid is, and the full blown hate raid, and it's like what 100, are they say it consists of 100 people. If they came by, like half the time I don't really look. I could try to look at my chat, but if 100 people came by and they were coming in the chat saying everything they could and stuff, I'm like, I'm just be
You
like,
just wouldn't look. You just look too
well,
busy.
they'd be there. I'll be like, I wouldn't even realize, but I'll look at my, I'll be like, holy fuck, there's 100 people in my chat. And I'm like, holy fuck. I'll just be like, fuck. I'll just be like, not the fact that they're saying these things to me. I'm like, there's actually 100 people in my chat right now. Like, that's fucking dope. Like, I don't like.
But you got a mod in there or something, right?
But
Yeah.
the mod would be going wild trying to delete these
Hmm.
things. But I would just be like, fucking leave them. Just let them go wild. These people are giving me views. Like, it's 100 people in my chat hanging out chatting and, like, being interactive. Doesn't matter what they're saying, it's being interactive and pushing the channel up high. It's like, it's giving me views and interactions. I'm like, sweet, this is the best day I've had all day, you
It
know?
puts the other viewers off as well. Seeing
can.
all that.
It can. And that's the thing. Like, there is
I
a.
guess not just you. It's your people in there with you. Like that, they might take offense to it as well. And then there's like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
No, that's what I mean. Like, and that's the other thing too that gets with me with people. It's like people get offended for other people as well. It's like,
But they can
okay.
take offense to what's being said to you. They might take offense to it though. Like
And that's what I mean. It's just like it's weird that people take offense that it's got nothing to do
maybe
with
it's just a
them
word
directly.
they don't like, or I mean, it could be anything. Like they could
It
probably
just
have a
interests me.
personal thing
It's
to
just
it.
interesting to me. Like it's just like like I see the silver lining. Yeah, it can be negative, but like
Just,
you're being
just,
rated with a massive amount of people. Like I just think
just
it's
fucking ban them and get
but
get
but
over
that's
it.
what I mean. But then if
Not,
you're
not get
like,
over it, but like ban it and move on.
but that's what I'm saying. But then if you're a bigger streamer, if say if you're one of these bigger streamers that
You got plenty of mods to do.
that's what
They're
I'm saying. If
fucking
you've
just.
got the 3K followers or whatever, you should have enough mods that would be in there. You would have like some of these people I know that have like 5 mods or 6 mods, and they're actually in the chat all the time. If they're all there at work, then they should be able to stop all this from happening by going to the chat and
Well, you're
muting
going
it
to
all.
stop like 100 people. Jesus.
No, but like
Or,
they should be able to
more, or
maintain
50
to a balance
people.
and just keep banning them. Like if it's a
Mm.
massive hate raid, you would see the red flag from the start if it comes in, and then you can kind of see from the first few comments. You're like, okay, you know where this is going, and you start, and you if you, I think too, you can
Put
like
it in slow mode and just do it. Cause make it they can't chat every 30 seconds and then just.
it's one of those things. So it can vary it too, because I know there's sides of things too. If you ban the host, it can shut things down. I think I'm not too sure.
I don't know. I haven't banned any. I banned one person.
But that's what I mean.
About
Like I
it.
said, it's just I feel like if you it's people go, oh, it shouldn't
I
happen.
want to check the unbanned plea. See, in case they wouldn't be unbanned. I want to check that. Have you seen some people's responses? They're like,
No.
"Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't me. I was having a bad day." I'm like, "That's not a good excuse. Like having
Oh,
a
I've
bad
heard
day
some
and you
people say
called
that. I think it's
someone like
hilarious.
a name and shit. Like,
Like, no,
God damn
you
it!"
shouldn't have said it in the first place. I don't care if you're having a bad day or not. It's your own fault. You should have said that.
And
Why
then
is
they
it?
said no to the request, and they're like, "Oh, well, fuck you." I'm like, "See?"
I'd like, oh,
was
I don't
like,
know. It's just
you're a
it is
nasty
an interesting
person.
thing. Like I know it shouldn't happen, but you're living in a world where not everything is sunflowers and daisies. Like
If it was, it'd be fucking boring.
yeah, so I mean, it's gonna happen either way. Like trying to get rid of it, you can't get rid of it. It's gonna be there either way.
You can eventually, but not
You
not all
you
in
can
one go.
filter it out. There's a difference between getting rid of it and filtering it out. You can filter it out. You're just not going to be able to get rid of it. Like it's still going to exist.
You can minimize it.
It's just crowd controlling it, like balance of crowd control. But like I don't know. It's just, I feel like definitely if people are gonna like really take heart to it, they need
And
to
just,
reassess what industry
if,
they're in.
if it happens multiple times, you just shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, if you can't handle it, and if it keeps happening every time, and you can't handle it, then yeah, you
Like if
do
you're
definitely need
ending
to reassess.
stream like halfway through, and just because of that, you shouldn't be.
Like
Not
I
saying you
said,
shouldn't be streaming, but
I mean, it was a weird time that moment, the time when I had that argument with Binny. And like I broke down,
yeah.
like I was having a rough time, but I broke
Oh
down. But
yeah.
I almost contemplated about ending the stream. I was like, no, fuck it, it is what it is. I got over it, and I just kept
Yeah,
streaming. I was
then he
like, what?
eventually left though,
Hey, he
and because
left.
he eventually left.
He himself left. Yeah, and I was like, "Ugh," I'm not gonna
Then he
get.
joined it in chat, like.
Oh, it was a weird night, but like that was the thing that happened. It happened. It happened. But like, it's an example of
Man,
a
that's a
situation.
friend's tiff though. That's all that was.
It was just, yeah, it's just a friend tiff. But like but that's what I'm saying, in the sense of like, you don't, like, you learn to deal with things in a sense of way that's just like, it is what happens. And you don't just be like, oh, quack, quack, run away. Like, if you keep doing
And
that, then people are going to
you
keep coming
can,
back.
but it happens so well, not so often, but happened a couple of times, and you're just like, fuck this, and then
Like,
are
you
you really
learn.
do it? Are you having fun? If you're not having fun, why do it?
Yeah, like, there's got to be a sense that if you can't manage it all and then not keep enjoying yourself, then yeah. Like, it's I'm not saying like everyone give up and run away and leave it all for us. Like, people are like, you're just trying to say it so you get more. I'm like, no, like, I enjoy doing what I like.
No,
I enjoy streaming. I
if
have
you're not
fun.
enjoying, if you end stream like just
We
say
really,
3 or 4 times a month because of that, you shouldn't be doing it.
you're
Like,
not. You got to deal with it. You got to learn to take it.
mm.
Take it on the chin and keep going. Like, I look at the silver lining in a lot of things. So I see a silver lining. Like, yep, it could be a lot worse.
Oh fuck yeah, it could be a lot worse.
So
Like I've
it's
been trolled mildly, like it didn't that's enough. So I've been just banned and moved
like I said,
on.
I had those guys coming on time and I was having a great time. They're like, dance, fatty, dance. I was like, okay, I'll dance. I was like, yeah, I'm actually up dancing. You asked me to dance. I'll jiggle my
I don't
belly
get it. Like,
around.
with actually being hateful though, that's the real thing.
They were
Like with
being
the,
like, they were going like, oh, it's fatty, fatty, ha, laughing and stuff like that.
oh,
And they're like, oh, well, you're in my chat. You're in my
it is
stream.
what it is.
You're watching the stream for a consecutive amount of time. You're like, I guess you're
You're
enjoying
pretty much a
yourselves. Like,
pretty much a viewer. It'd be funny
like
if it
you're being a
actually
viewer.
followed as well. Like,
I had some actually follow. I did actually have end up having some follow, ironically enough.
oof.
It was like that one time I had that stream happen.
Well, then I like the content, so
It was a
why
different
not?
stream. It wasn't even raid. Just two guys came by at the same, or two users came by at the same time. They started giving me shit. One was trying to stab me, like, and then I was like, the other, like, I just told him, like, fuck me in the ass. And then one, whatever, then he ended up talking, and then he ended up just leaving after a while. The other one laughed at himself and laughed at what I was saying and stuff. Then he goes, oh, and left a follow. And I was like, one, two of them come into
Which
troll.
means
One
he
of them
wasn't
left.
really being nasty. He was just having
Well,
a bit of fun.
he was
And
trying to like poke and be edgy and like he was saying stuff. He was trying to be,
just trying to find the fine line between
and I was
maybe
just
like
like,
he's
and I was like, and that's my remark too. If anyone tries to be a troll, I'm like, just do the whole fuck me in the ass. Then go on, do it. And then it's just oh, like you just stalemate them. That's what you do. You just give them a stalemate.
I just ignore them. Like if they come in chat, just read everyone else but them.
Yeah.
And
What works
if
the
they keep
best?
going longer than like 5 minutes, I just
Well, what
can you please stop? And then it's just ban.
the best way is to always trump them. So that's what I always found is the best way is to trump them, beat them at
You just
their own
don't
game.
acknowledge they're there because then they just get
No.
bored and then they just
Well,
fuck
that's the
off.
same thing. That's the same thing I've seen too. Is the quickest way to do it, if because you can do the whole board thing. I found personally the quickest way to do it is to beat them at their own game, trump them. You do yourself in. You trump them at their game. They go, well, that's no fun. He's just said something negative about himself, dug his own hole. It's like, oh, that's no fun. Like, how are we supposed to pick on someone when he's just going to tell himself that he's a fat prick and he's going to sit there and cry in the corner? I'll say, oh, I'm a fat prick. I'm going to cry in the corner. Ooh. And then I'll fake go over the corner like, like what's oh, he's just done it to himself. Like, oh, well, there's no fun. He's just you take the fun out of it for them, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, what are we going to do? And they just leave straight away.
And then they move on to someone else and then do it to them. It's like,
No, it
just
shouldn't. It
fucking
doesn't mean
stop.
that in general. Like, it's just going to keep moving and moving and moving. Which I mean, yeah, it shouldn't happen at all. Like, I'm not saying it should. Like, it shouldn't happen at all. But like, there are ways to battle it. There are many ways to battle it and to handle it and deal with it. It's
Depends
how
what
you
works
choose
for
to
you,
do it.
really.
Yeah, whatever works. I think it's funny just to tell them all to fuck me in the ass.
I just ignore it. If they keep going, just tell them to stop. If they keep going, fuck
Exactly.
off.
Exactly. So,
ban.
and that's exactly it. If I see people come by and if I'm like there at the time, I see them like, oh, delete,
If
block,
they do it
ban,
after
ban.
you say stop and they just keep going, they're just
Well, if you say
dickheads.
stop the first time and they say it, then you ban them straight up. Like you should only have to
Mm.
say no, no, stop it. Okay, ban.
I mean, I
Even if you're
ignore it.
streaming,
Then
even if you're streaming, it happens yourself, and you're sitting there, you've got your mods there, and you're there as well. You just pause your game, go through, and just go, okay, ban, click ban, 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 and you just look for any of their comments because I'll try and spam the thing. You just find them and just go, okay, ban that one, and just
I'm
ban them. Like
thankfully I've got
like
always got
pause
a
your
mod in
stream.
there now.
Like even if you're streaming, like I don't know if you're still, if you, anyone streams and they're watching this, like I'm just saying in general, like you just pause whatever you're doing. Even if you're playing a game, you're gonna die, just die. Just go through, and all it takes is you to scroll their mouse over their name, click ban, click ban, click ban. Then if they want to kind of come back, they got to go log in, change over accounts to try and come back in and sign into another account. If they want to use all that effort to come in, just go okay, they're back in, okay, ban.
Yeah,
Like,
people do have troll accounts, so
and the thing is, so too, that I
and
think that
multiple too.
I think that's the thing which has always been implemented. If your account gets banned enough on multiple channels, your whole account gets banned in general. So
Damn.
So if they're going to keep coming in and they keep getting banned in different people's channels, then their account should be like get banned.
Oh yeah,
They'll get banned. Like it makes sense. Like that's what I
there
think
should be
happens
a
already.
trend going on.
If that account keeps getting reported too many times, then yeah, there's something going on with that account.
Yep.
So there are many ways to deal with it. It's how you're going to deal with it. Like I don't know why everyone keeps going oh me. Like I feel like sometimes people
I
do it.
trolled once, got banned.
Like I feel like people also too with this whole thing like the sympathy card. That's
Oh
the other
yeah.
problem too. Is a lot of behind this as well. There's a lot of the sympathy behind it. People go, "Oh, I've been hate rated." I was
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck they are though. Like I don't know who says it.
like
I've
I
never heard
said,
them until this week.
do you are you it's like if you're gonna sit there and complain about it, are you really being like, because you can crowd control the situation. Like I've already said multiple times for this episode, like what I've just said in this conversation
Hey,
now.
of course you can. It just
Like
depends how you do it.
if
If
you're
you
not
do
going to
it,
crowd control it, are you really offended by it, or are you just trying to cry wolf for the whole situation, get attention from the being like, oh, they're picking on me? Like, is that where you're trying to get attention from that? Try and get sympathy from people? Like, you put a tweet, oh, I've been hate rated, this happened to me, oh, and I see people doing this. It's like sometimes, like not from hate, but in general situations and just things trying to get sympathy from people, and then they get all the likes and oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. It's like people just doing it for sympathy attention. Like there are
yeah,
ways to crowd control any situation. Like it can be done. Like simple people just like to go their way to use it as a sympathy card and cry wolf and stuff, and it's just like okay. But I don't
depends.
know. I don't
Depends who
know.
it is. Depends what it is.
But
I don't know.
if you're gonna be that type of person that's gonna be sympathy, I'm like okay, I'm not gonna look at your shit. I'll ban you myself if you're gonna be like that type of person. I'm like I'm sorry, but if you're gonna be there going just for the sympathy, I'm like okay, no, ban.
Oh, and you myself.
I'll ban you myself. They may have to even see it. So I don't know. Like it's
It's like, who's this? Oh, I can't watch them. Because when you're banned, you can watch them, but you can't chat.
mm,
So it's like I'm in someone's chat, but I can't talk.
mm.
It's like, they banned me.
So yeah, it's one of those things. But
You shouldn't be able to watch them either, like because
if
they
they've
can
been
still
banned,
do
yeah.
shit.
Mm.
Can you
Which,
still
I
like host and raid? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think you can. That's what I mean. You think if they're banned, they shouldn't be able to see your channel at all. Like if they've been
Hmm.
banned. So I don't know. Oh, but that's me going for that little rant with that. I don't know. There is crowd control, silver lining, crowd control.
Cat control, cat control.
Uh,
That should just do. Have a few laughs.
Have you laughs? It
That's all.
is what it is.
Ow, my foot hurts.
Well,
Oh,
it's
dear.
we started late, and it is late, and I think it's time to wrap it up. Have you seen the time,
It's
Jim?
only nearly 1 a.m. What do you mean?
Are you staying up, or are you going to bed soon?
I'll stay up.
Staying up? I might stay up too still.
But so I mean that's all I've got for this
It's
week.
it's been a weird episode. It's been a weird episode. I've left that at the end
It's
because I
been
just
an
want to get it out.
educational one, the whole thing. So
I think it has actually been very educational. Oh, Beardy Bros episode 36, Bearducation.
education,
Bearducation.
be
Yeah,
education,
I think I call it
be
Bearducation. Even though
elementary.
there's no
I don't know.
education about beards, there was no information, there was no learning about beards at all. It was beard education.
That's been episodes before, so.
But no, I'll leave it. I'll leave it to Jim to wrap this up.
Yeah, man. And, and on that note, we've been. Thank you for watching, listening to episode. What is it? Fucking 36.
36, yeah.
I must say 35 again, but that was last week. But as always, we've been Dale and Jim, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Hey, Jody, say hi to your mother for me.
I think you're going to go, Dix.
Dicks!
You just scream Dix in the microphone.